Dámy a pánové, vážení sportovní přátelé, kdybychom tady měli orloj na staroměstské radnici, tak by právě v této vteřině odbíjela 17. hodina, a tak mi dovolte, abych zahájil kratičkým ceremoniálem start 7. ročníku atletického mítinku stříbrné nálepky Světové atletické federace Hvezdy, Nehvizdech. Dovolte, abych v první řadě přivítal milé a vzácné hosty, kteří se pak také postupně dostanou k mikrofonu. A jsem velice rád, že nám dámy stále velice blídnou a pohodovou ruku drží paní hejtmanka, rodačka z Benešova, která, vidíte to na té figuře, stojí vedle Heleny Fibingerové a jsou skoro stejně vysoké, bývalá basketbalistka. Takže paní Petra Pecková se k nám ráda a často vrací a jsme tomu rádi. Petra Pecková.
As we have some introductions of local dignitaries and the woman in the middle, I'm sure
vedle ní
many
stojí dáma,
athletics fans
která
recognize the former world
včera
champion Helena
oslavila
Fibingerova. There she
47.
is.
výročí světového rekordu v hale 2250. Žádná jiná žena této planety neposlala 4-kilogramové závaží dál. Helena Fibingerová, mistryně světa, olympijská medailistka, světová rekordmanka, 8násobná vítězka halového mistrovství Evropy. Včera 22:50, byli jsme u toho v Jablonci.
Some opening speeches shortly, but Helena Fibingerova, 1983 world champion at those inaugural World Championships in Helsinki, and 3 times a world record setter in the shot put.
Jako první, pan Poběrežský pochopitelně také drží na městské kase peníze ruku, ale jak vidíte, na sport se tady prostě trpí. Pan doktor Luboš Riedl, ředitel základní školy a mateřské školy Nehvizdech, to je ten druhý gentleman zprava.
Headmaster of the local Nehvizdech primary school, but very much involved in this.
Místě, ale spíš na prvním místě z hlediska pracovitosti a
created the
makačenka.
anthem
To je Tom Vojtek, bývalý mistr republiky v desetiboji, a on tu desetibojskou profesi promírá v tom, že stíhá jako takzvaný 12válec úplně všechno. Já si myslím, že v téhleté chvilce z mé strany už to stačí a předám jako prvnímu panu Jiřímu Poběrežskému mikrofon, aby nám k tomu, co nás tady dnes čeká, také řekl své. Má na to plné právo.
Well, my check is a bit limited, but I can tell you the moderator is handing over the microphone to the mayor of Nehvizdech, Jiří Poběrežský.
Pana ředitele školy a hlavního dílovedoucího Tomáše Vojtka, samozřejmě pana Škorpila. A samozřejmě vítám také vás, diváky, sportovce. Já bych, nebudu mluvit dlouho, popřeju sportovcům ty nejlepší sportovní výkony. Budeme určitě se mít na co dívat a vám popřeju co nejlepší sportovní zážitky. Co tady bude, to uvidíte a určitě se o tom rozpovídá pan Tomáš Vojtek. Takže děkuju a příjemnou zábavu přeju.
Paní hejtmanko, prosím, máte slovo.
Well, the next in line to provide some words of introduction and welcome is the governor of the Central Bohemia region, Petra Pecková.
Tak já myslím, že Nehvizdy dokazují, že na velikosti fakt nezáleží a že se 4,5 tisícové Nehvizdy ve Středočeském kraji dokáží zařadit vedle nejlepších atletických mítinků, vedle měst, jako je Barcelona nebo Paříž. Takže já jsem v tuto chvíli strašně hrdá hejtmanka Středočeského kraje na středočeské Nehvizdy. Děláte, pánové, neuvěřitelnou práci. Opravdu vám za to moc díky, moji podporu máte, to víte, a já přeji všem, ať tady předvádějí skvělé životní výkony a ať se nestane, i když bych vám to možná přála, že budete mít zase nějaký otvor od koule v podlaze, protože loni jste říkali, že ho vyříznete, zarámujete a možná byste mohli jednou i vydražit, ale já myslím, že lepší je, když to bude ve výseči a hodně daleko. Tak ať se vám daří.
Děkujeme, paní hejtmanko. Mistryně světa z Helsinek, medailistka olympiády v Montrealu, 8násobná halová mistryně Evropy, legendární Helena Fibingerová. Maminka celého mítinku, se dá říci, páč nám hodně pomáhá.
Well, I ran through a list of plaudits of Helena Fibingerova, including being the world indoor record holder still after 47 years. with that magnificent effort of 22.50. Former European indoor champion on no less than 8 occasions.
Tady Tomáši Vojtkovi, že dokázali ten meeting udržet a posunout do takové kategorie. Přeju všem divákům příjemnou zábavu a závodníkům dobré výkony.
Děkujeme. Teď pan ředitel doktor Luboš
Well, Helena Fibingerova, a very familiar face still. Many Czech indoor meetings and outdoors as well. Luboš Riedl, the headmaster of the local Nehvizdy primary school.
Sportovní zážitky a vyjadřuji svou velkou radost nad tím, že se tady takhle pravidelně scházíme. A Tomáši, tobě po 7., jestli se nemýlím, děkuju a máš můj obdiv, máš mou poklonu, takže prosím tě, ať se ti daří i v letech dalších. Děkuju ti, Tome.
And the microphone, after that handshake, passes over to the meeting director of this Nehvizdy World Athletics Indoor Tour Silver Meeting, Tomáš Vojtěch.
Tak děkuju, dobrý den, bez vás, tady po mé pravici bych tady nikdy nebyl a nebyli byste tady vlastně ani vy. Děkuju těm, co jste došli, protože vím, že v Nehvizdech jsou jarní prázdniny, ale kdo zůstal, tak věřím, že o nic nepřijde. Já bych letos si dovolil trošku poděkovat tady lidem, který jsem tady asi ani některým z nich nikdy neděkoval, ale bez kterých by tady nevzniklo nic. Je to 7. ročník, tak jsem si dovolil podle svého oblíbeného filmu to hodit jako 7 statečných. Takže teďka bych poprosil, abyste, až domluvím, pořádně zatleskali paní Heleně Fibingerové, paní hejtmance Petře Peckové, a teďka sem poprosím, aby k nám přišli Karel Luňák, bez kterého bychom tady tenhle klec nikdy neměli, tenhle sektor, který je teďka největší na světě a on ho tady takřka celý. Dále poprosím pana Nekolného, který tu halu před 7 lety prakticky celou vybudoval, takže bez něho by to tady prostě nešlo. Prosím taky za náma. Já vás všechny vidím. Dále, pokud tady je teďka Martina Mazáče, Martin je mnou jmenovaný ředitel závodu.
The meeting director Tomáš Vojtěch just giving a shout out to some very important other officials and volunteers who've been involved in the meeting ever since it was created back in 2018.
Sjednotit dopravu všech atletů, opravdu skoro z celého světa, aby se sem dostali, tak to je Honzova práce. Asi týden nespí a jenom hlídá, jak lítají letadla, lítají vlaky, autobusy a podobně. A dále poprosím pana Jirku Jona, hlavního manažera.
Having been called out away from their duties at the moment, just to get very appropriate acknowledgements.
Já jestli můžu, Tome, tak doplním, že Jirka Jon nás všechny jako dorostence školil v trojskoku, byl to mistr republiky v trojskoku a od té doby posouval svou výšku laťky až do vrcholné podoby manažera světové úrovně. Bez Jirky Jona by ti bylo mnohem hůř, to musíme uznat.
To je zcela určitě. A teďka poprosím ještě Lucku Hradeckou. Já vím, že to je tenistka, atletiku nedělá, když si to zkoušela a byla to ostuda, zkoušela házet oštěpem, zapíchlo se jí to druhou stranou, ale Lucka mi od začátku byla velkou rádkyní a mentorkou, když jsem to tady začínal budovat. A Lucka vlastně, dá se říct, že nás tady teďka z těch 7 statečník je tak 7,5. Lucka má za pár dnů termín, ne, že by po kariéře tak přibrala. Takže všem vám tady, co jste, já hrozně moc mekám, že můžeme teďka být jeden, troufnu si už říci, nejlepší meeting, nebo jeden z nejlepších meetingů na světě. Děkuju.
Tak a Lucka dostává jako první pamětní plaketu, ale ona dostane za pár dní nějakou úplně jinou ozdobu, ale tohle je asi nejkrásnější míč, který jste v životě mohla potkat, co, Lucko? To bříško, že je nejkrásnější míč.
Well, some impressive mementos to go on the sideboard of the recipients' homes
dostávají všichni, kteří jsou
in and around Nehvizdy.
krásné plakety. Tom Vojtek má akorát tak ruce na to, aby to stačil rozdat. No a my pozveme paní Marii, slečnu vlastně jsem se dověděl.
Very nice trophies.
Slečnu Marii Rýdlovou, aby si přišla ke mně, až se
wherever they're placed around the house.
Dámy, aby si ke mně, hrdý tatínek je určitě zvědav, jak to celé dopadne, aby si ke mně přišla pro mikrofon a hymna, která zazní z úst této sympatické mladé slečny, bude tečkou slavnostního ceremoniálu, takže vás poprosím, abyste byli tak laskaví, aby se povstali a my přerušíme na tu chviličku, trvá to minutu 15, rozcvičování koulařek. Prosím.
So now the national anthem of the Czech Republic, or as it's well known now, Czechia. Well, you might well be familiar with the Czechia national anthem because we've had a number of athletics meetings coming from the Czech Republic in recent weeks, including at the start of this month, the Trinec and then Hustapeče high jump meetings, almost back-to-back within the matter of a couple of days. And of course, the specialist field event meetings, very popular in Central Europe. Just last Tuesday, we had the very high-quality Banska Bystrica high jump meeting just over the border in the Slovak Republic. Here, well, we've also got the shot put. Previous years, we've also had a long jump as well, but this year it's just the men's and women's shot puts and the high jump. And just to mark your cards, yes, well, we're getting underway very shortly with the women's shot put, and that'll come up in, well, about 7 minutes' time as they go through some of their practice efforts. There you can see Jessica Inchulde, Portuguese thrower, following into the circle Fanny Roos. Later on, well, we've got the men's shot put at 18:30 local time in Czech Republic, Czechia. I'll swap between the two pronunciations. And then just before that, the men's high jump will get underway, which includes the reigning world indoor champion and the world leader, Woo Sung-yok from Korea. And we're looking at a very high-quality high jump competition indeed. And I feel fairly certain we could see the meeting record of 2:27, which dates back to 2022. I think the likes of Woo and perhaps one or two of the other jumpers could challenge that.
Tím také vyvrcholí dnešní 7. ročník našeho meetingu v Nehvizdech. A nyní už tedy prezentace atletek, které budou soutěžit v kouli žen.
Just a small audience in this sportovní hala in the center of
rozhodčí pozve všechny
Nehvizdy.
koulařky do sektoru a my je následně mimo jiné vyzveme a také jim dodáme potleskem první motivaci do nadcházející soutěže.
will be competing in the women's shot put, which will get underway in just a few minutes' time.
Tereza Ďurďaková, 33. narozeniny, tahle výborná chodkyně, zvládla skvěle světový šampionát v Budapešti. A dnes má 630. Kuba Holuša. Kuba Holuša, halový mistr Evropy z Prahy 2015 na 15 stovku, dnes už trenér. Michale, máš slovo, představovačka je na tobě.
Jdeme na prezentaci soutěže žen v kouli.
Live results and a link to the live results on the European Athletics website, www.european-athletics.
K dispozici máme i českou zástupkyni Katrin Břiškovskou.
Nedvedova.
Děkujeme.
Followed by Milan Amon,
Amelia
the German.
Campbell from Great Britain.
This is Amelie Campbell of Great Britain,
Jessica
Northern Ireland,
Inchulde from
wearing
Portugal.
her club colours. Jessica Inchulde, 9 times Portuguese champion and former Portuguese record holder. And here's the Spanish record holder, Maria Belén Tolmil.
Fanny Roos,
Competes
Sweden.
for the famous club players, the Castillon. Fanny Roos, two-time European indoor medalist, bronze medalist last year in Istanbul.
A loňská šampionka from Canada, Sarah Mitten.
Sarah Mitten wearing the turquoise top, making a young schoolgirl very happy with, are those teddy bears, I think? Anyway, Mitten, 2023 World Championship silver medalist, and there we also had Jessica Schilder.
Mají k dispozici, no a my začneme první sérii pokusů.
Nedvedova, who doesn't start. Indeed, it was the other Czech who was presented,
Germany, Deutschland.
Brzezinkowska.
Povedlo se udržet startovní pole z loňské sezóny, z loňského 6. ročníku, mimo jiné v tom, že Sarah Mitten zvítězila před Jessicou Schilderovou a Fanny Roos, takže medailistky z loňského meetingu jsou ve startovním poli. Milane Amon, first attempt from Germany.
So, Milane Amon, first attempt for the German. Member of the Bettringen Club in Germany. Has improved indoors to 16.61 just a few days ago in Leipzig at the German Championships. Has a best outdoors of 16.65. So she's in good form relative to her own abilities at the moment. Those are the German Championships in Leipzig at the weekend.
Dále v pořadí bude připravená Katrin Břiškovská, mistryně republiky, 4násobná medailistka v hodu koulí, dvojnásobná halová mistryně republiky.
Studuje v Americe. Odskočila se na mistrovství republiky a jsme rádi, že svůj pobyt v České kotlině prodloužila ještě o termín, kdy stíhá i ten dnešní náš závod. Pokládám, že body z tohoto klání mohou hodit do žebříčkového pořadí pro světový šampionát v hale v Glasgow, ale pochopitelně i směrem k mistrovství Evropy v atletice a především k olympiádě v Paříži,
Virginia Tech,
kde na přelomu července a srpna olympiáda bude probíhat. Atletické soutěže jsou plánovány na srpnové termíny.
Just preparing herself, just waiting for the results
to come prodlevou přes technický problém, ale Milane Amon zapsáno 14.76. Máme tady první pokus soutěže za námi a půjdeme tedy za Katrin Břiškovskou z České republiky.
Amon 14.76. So a modest start for the German. Břiškovská.
Potlesky na místě, reprezentantka SSK Vítkovice určitě dělá vítkovickým atletům, Oldovi Zvolánkovi a všem dalším, kteří už pomaličku myslí na to, jak připravit zlatou tetru. 15.84. Připravuje se Amelia Campbellová. Britka, 30letá závodnice, která loni v Castellono ve Španělsku vytvořila osobní rekord. 18 metrů 18 centimetrů. 18.18 from Castellón, Spain last year. Amelia Campbell.
So we'll wait to give you the result. Brezhkovska, but as you heard the infield announcer saying, Amelia Campbell, best of 18.18. Short of that mark, wearing the club vest of the famous Thames Valley Harriers Club from West London.
17:10, zatím vedoucí pokus. Připravuje se Jessica Inchudová, Portugalsko. Jessica Inchud, Portugal. Původně to je závodnice, která reprezentovala Guineu Bissau. 175 cm, 1,80 kg.
15.84, followed up by Campbell. 17.10, so a decent start for the Briton. Now Inchude.
Dobře zvládnuto. Viděli jsme zádovou techniku, to už u žen nebývá obvyklé. 17.76 o 670 cm víc než pro Britku. A teď přichází Španělka Maria Belén Tojmilová, 29letá, 89 kg vážící koulařka, 4násobná mistryně Španělska v hale a 4násobná mistryně Španělska venku.
Today, I can bring you up to date. Takes the lead with 17.76.
I Tojmilové, ten vrch vyšel velice dobře. 18 metrů rovných, máme první 18 v soutěži. 18.00.
18.
A přichází 20násobná šampionka Švédska. 20 titles in the Sweden Republic.
18 meters
Fanny
exactly.
Ross svého času si vytvořila nakladně rekord 1934. Loni v Pozově přidala 8 cm. Fanny Rossová loni třetí tady. Last year third place.
So now Fanny Roos, two-time European indoor medalist.
Šlo to trošku přes prsty, ale také velmi zdařilý pokus.
Around the 18 meter mark again.
(17.58) a přicházejí dvě hlavní favoritky. Loni stříbrná, ale letos vedoucí žena světových tabulek.
So now Jessica Schilder.
Nizozemka from Netherlands, Jessica Schilder. Loni 19.12 a druhá.
So Schilder set a world lead last weekend with that Dutch record of 20:31 in Apeldoorn.
Přešlapuje,
is that in?
A teď držitelka rekordu
Did she get a red flag there? Because that was right on the...
Sarah Mitton.
No. It just drifted out to the right-hand side of the sector. So that's a foul. And now Sarah Mitton. Well, Mitton, silver medalist in Budapest last summer. Rotational technique, and that's very good indeed. She likes that, and I'm not surprised. That's an excellent effort. Holds the Canadian record indoors and out. Outdoors in 2022. She puts in 20:33.
Jenom 10 cm od rekordu mítinku. A střídání stráží u mikrofonu.
Rozhodně se dá říci, že první kolo bylo povedené, zdařené.
Just measuring it, let's just see whether it does indeed get
kolo pokusu
the meeting record.
Germany. První pokus 14.76.
No, just shy of it. 19:19. So just 10 centimeters short of her own meeting record from last year. As we go back to the start again, Milène Amon.
Měřit se bude, ale nebude to mít žádný zásadní
vliv
na
pořadí. The German,
o 5 cm méně.
just 20 years of age, was fourth in the European Under-20 Championships last year.
Břiškovská Prvním pokusem 15,84.
Brešíkovská.
Hezký pokus. Katrin má za sebou titul mistryně republiky, jak v hale.
Relatively speaking, had 15:48 in the first round.
16,68. Nejlepší výkon sezóny a skoro o metr lepší pokus než v prvním kole. Bylo to ještě lepší než na mistrovství republiky v Ostravě o 10 cm. A nyní Amelia Campbell from Great Britain.
Campbell. Brešíkovská improving to 16.68 with the last effort. Now the Briton, stalwart of the British team for many years.
Prvním pokusem 17:10.
Well, Campbell's already had 5 meetings this year.
Takže bezmála na chlup.
Set a personal best indoors of 18:03.
A prvním pokusem hodila 17:76. Výborná atletka. Mojné umí také diskem. Byla 9. na mistrovství Afriky.
Mark of 17:05 with a second attempt, a little bit shy of that. In Tuesday now, that's a good effort from her.
Zůstává ten první pokus 17:76.
Possibly over 18 meters for the Portuguese athlete. 17:76 in the
Maria
first round.
Valentimil from Spain. Loni na 6. místě.
Look at a replay of that.
10. místo z mistrovství světa. A byla také na olympijských hrách.
I'm just trying to keep you up to date with everything that's going on in Tuesday. No, it was given us a foul in the end. Tomil.
Španělka působila spokojeně. První
Tomil
pokus
had
18
exactly 18 meters in the first round. Not sure whether that's quite as far as that. Maybe fractionally short. As I said, a little bit difficult to tell as we don't have lines below the 19-meter line. So no lines at 18 or 17 meters, which would make, I think, my life and perhaps the life of the spectators a little easier. Nevertheless. So Tomil was just shy of that first round mark with 17:57. And it's about 18 meters again. I don't think that's an improvement for Roos.
Pokus číslo 1 17:58. A jdeme také na Jessiku Schilder
17:58.
Netherlands. Loni 2., předloni 7. Bronzová z mistrovství světa v Eugene před 2 lety.
No, that's being counted as a foul as well. Was that a foul? I think it whizzed off. Yes, it was out to the sector. Yes, gets a red flag. Yeah, she just lost control of that, didn't she? Well, Schilder having a few technical problems. Bit of a surprise there. That's the second foul for her. So we come to the end of the second round. This is the leader, Sarah Mitten, 19:19 in the first round. Just 10 centimeters short of a meeting record from last year. A big cry there from the Canadian. And that looks as though that's cracked the meeting record. I don't know whether there's bonuses for meeting records, but I can tell you that the women's shot put winner gets €500.
New record for this meeting. Takže nejenom sezónní maximum, ale také rekord meetingu pro
1982 for Mitten.
V finále mistrovství světa. Je to vítězka univerziády v hodu koulí.
That's not just a meeting record, it's a Canadian indoor record as well.
V Budapešti v loňském roce.
That is a very good effort indeed. That consolidates her position on third on the world indoor list. And looking ahead to those World Indoor Championships coming up, perhaps in Glasgow, perhaps a woman who's going to be in contention for the medals when we get to Scotland in just under 2 weeks' time. Those championships, of course, being held from the 1st to the 3rd of March.
Katerin Břiškovská.
So, Amon.
16.68 v druhé sérii.
Best mark so far, 15.86 for the German just a moment ago.
11 cm
Now the
od
Czech
svého maxima životního. V
throw it.
Blansku 16.79. 28. září 22. Tento pokus se měřit nebude, zůstává 16.68. Amelia Campbell, Great Britain. 6. na hrách Commonwealthu v Birminghamu. Dvojnásobná mistryně Británie v hale a dvojnásobná mistryně Británie venku.
It's a foul for the Czech thrower in the end. A little bit difficult to see sometimes whether they're getting red flags or not.
Velice prožívá ty své pokusy.
Fairly easy to see if the shot goes out of the sector. So Campbell.
16.87.
Not too happy with that effort.
Prvního pokusu 17.10. Teď Portugalka Jessica Inčudová. Zatím 17.76.
16.87 for Campbell. It's not quite as good as a previous effort. Oh, that's an excellent effort from Inčude. That's not that far away from the 19-meter mark.
Šampionátu 2022 a mistryně Portugalska 2021. 18.12 máme další 18-metrovou koulačku.
Inčude has a personal best of
36 cm.
18.47 indoors, 18.67 outdoors. That's not that far away. Just once again, the results a little bit slow coming through. 18.12 for Inčude. Now, Tomil. Again, that's another one going down at around the 18-meter mark. And Inčude moved up to 2nd place with that 18.12. You heard there. 17.60 for Tamil. So she still lies in 3rd with 18 metres exactly. But of course, Schilder, 2 fouls, very capable of producing a big one. Fanny Roos. Well, Roos struggling a little bit. 17.58, followed by a foul for the Swedish thrower. That's much better though. That might move her up into 2nd place behind Mitten. So this is an enthralling duel at the top end. Well, 18.09, so that moves her up into 3rd place. So she leapfrogs over Tomil, but she's behind Mitten and Inčude at the moment. So, Jessica Schilder, can she get a legal effort in? That's a lot better. Yes. Bang on 19 metres. That's a safe effort in. I mean, she's thrown more than a metre further than that this year. And indeed, only 3 days ago at the Dutch Championships in Apeldoorn, you can see there that she blew out her cheeks with a sigh of relief. Oh, it's 19 metres exactly for Schilder. Now, after that 1982, that Canadian indoor record and a meeting record, what can Mitten do? Not under any pressure at the moment. That's another 19-metre plus effort, but it's not going to be as far as her 2nd round attempt. Big smiles, though, from the Canadian, now 27 years of age. Pan American Games champion last year, World University Games champion back in 2019. A very consistent performer at the highest levels. The 3rd round was in the end a foul. It looked like a foot fault, but there you can see the halfway point. Mitten does lead, though, with that meeting record, a national indoor record of 1982. Jessica Schilder, after 2 fouls, got a 3rd round effort in on bang on the 19-metre mark. But a distant 2nd place at the moment for the reigning European champion.
Zavnímali jsme 2 19-metrové pokusy. Ono to také vypovídá o té kvalitě startovního pole, protože tu máme medailistky z mistrovství Evropy či mistrovství světa. Navíc je tu také 6 koulařek, které pamatují některý z těch předchozích ročníků tohoto meetingu Hvězdy v Nehvizdech.
Milane Amon, the first to go into the circle.
Ještě pro jistotu předáme pořadí pro další pokusy samotným koulařkám pro druhou polovinu dnešní finálové soutěže. Také doplníme, že od 18 hodin a 10 minut bude prezentace výškařů.
Greater resorting required.
Pak také prezentace koulařů. Bude cena Heleny Fibingerové a vrchol dnešního meetingu. Samotné finálové soutěže pak jsou od 18 hodin a 15 minut pro výšku mužů a 18:30 začíná koule mužů.
So the referees just informing them of the sort in the orders. So after 3 rounds, the woman with the shortest mark, I suppose you could say, goes first, and so on. But with Mitten leading, she will go last of the 8 women in this competition.
Zatím to příliš nevychází, ale pojďme Melanie podpořit potleskem do dalších pokusů a sérií.
1586 in the last round.
Katrin Bříškovská.
Difficult to tell, but I don't think that's quite as far.
Melanie nakonec hodila 16:03, 16:03.
Not quite having the best of competitions. The fourth placer from last year's European Under-20 Championships.
Katrin má zatím zapsáno
pretty consistent over 16 meters this year.
Výkon sezóny. Tady se měřit nebude, takže zůstává těch 16,68. Je to 11 cm za osobním rekordem, ale dnes tady o 10 cm nejlepší výkon sezóny. Amelia Campbell, 17:10 is best attempt.
Břiškovská fouling. First attempt of 17:10, as you heard our infield announcer saying.
Zatím to nevychází vůbec. Této koulařce z Velké Británie předchozí 3 pokusy byly v rozmezí 23 cm, takže vyrovnanost výkonu budiš, ale na ty nejlepší to nestačí.
The last World Indoor Championships final in Belgrade. Finished 13th on that occasion. That was one of her big results, Campbell. To the last 2 European Championships, looking to make it a 3rd in Rome. Tommy Hill also regular competitor at the European Championships. That again is around the 18-meter mark.
Takhle vypadá spokojenost. Zatím 18 metrů byl nejlepší výkon. Tohle je 17:96. 17:96.
So 17:96, just 4 centimeters shy of her first round effort of 18 meters, which remains Tommy Hill's best.
Zatím nejlepší pokus, a to ze 3. série.
So Fanny Roos, well, she was 3rd here last year with 18:51, 4th in 2022. So she's pretty familiar with what goes on in Nehvizdy. Former European Under-23 champion back in 2017. That's a good effort, though, from Roos.
Je na místě. Jessica Inchude from Portugal. Pojďme Jessiku podpořit potleskem. Přece jenom vrcholí soutěž koulařek. Vrcholí 4. série pokusů.
18:09 for Roos. Sorry, misreading it. That was her 3rd round effort. Still waiting to see what her 4th round mark was. 18:37, I can tell you, for Roos. That moves her up into 3rd place.
Pokus, který se bude měřit. Předtím Fanny Roos 18:37. Season best, tedy nejlepší výkon
bowls
sezóny.
That out there, the Sporting Lisbon thrower.
17:90, 17:90 for Jessica Inchude.
So no improvement for Inchude. 17:90.
Pojďme ji také podpořit potleskem předchozím pokusem.
Throwing though, she's not that far away from her personal bests. both indoors and out, roughly about half a metre at the moment. Now, Jessica Schilder. Oh, that's an improvement as well.
Výborně.
Closes the gap between her and Sarah Mitten.
Sama Jessica měla dobrý pocit ze svého pokusu.
Well, Schilder second last year, 1912, which at the time was very close to the meeting record.
1933,
now she's improved. So 1933, it is an improvement for Schilder. 98 centimetres down on what she achieved in Appledorn, though. Mitten. Another extremely good effort over 19 metres again for the Canadian.
Sára je ve skvělé formě, předchozí pokusy překonaly hranici 19
Mitten
metrů.
came over to Europe to compete in the Baldaroo competition, which she won back at the end of January with 1958.
1982.
Woof.
A jdeme do pátých pokusů, dámy a pánové. Předposlední sérii otevře Milane Amonová.
So the fifth round then.
16:03. Zlepšila se ve
Mitten just a bit shy of her 1982 in the second round with that 1956 just now.
Padlo to do dlaně, to bude trošku problém. Ale každopádně pokus měřený. 15:78, zůstává 16:03 ze čtvrté série. A pojďme roztleskat pokus Katrin Břiškovské. Katrin potřebuje vaši podporu. Zatím 16:68. V Ostravě před 2 dny 16:58 na mistrovství republiky.
Ah. 16.5 metres. She's not far away from a personal best with that effort, although you wouldn't know from the expression on her face.
16:63, 5centimetrový manko, ale ještě zbývá jeden pokus. Je tady Britka Amelie Campbell. Zatím 17:10, hned z první série. Ano, chce vaši podporu, chce. A vy to vnímáte jako správný hec.
Břiškovská 16.63, so just 5 centimetres down on her best effort so far in the second round. Now Campbell.
Trošku se nám tady vyvěsila teďko.
Not a particularly good effort from Campbell. A little bit down on her best.
Velmi to prožívá. 16:27. 16:27.
16.77, as you heard there, so short of her personal best, which was her opener of 17:10.
Zatím 18 metrů rovných z první sérii. The first attempt, 18 meters.
Yes.
Jste výborní.
First attempt was the best attempt for Tamil. Oh, doesn't like that. She's going to start again.
Do časového limitu.
Holds the Spanish indoor record at 18.64, which at the time was an absolute Spanish record, which she did in the qualifiers at the 2021 European Indoor Championships. Oh, that's a good effort. That's an improvement. Let's just make sure it's a legal effort. So that is a very good performance indeed from Tamil, and she's getting the congratulations.
Tojmilová má osobně jako 18:80. Je to vyrovnaný výkon sezóny u španělské koulařky.
18:23 for Tamil. She jumps up into fourth place in front of Inchude. It's been pushed back in these fourth and fifth rounds from third at the halfway point. She's now down in fifth. She'll come up next after Roos, who's moved up to third. And that is another effort close to the 19-meter line. I think that's an improvement on her 18:37 from the last round. Oh, just as I say that, I don't think it I've seen the result come up, and it's actually 3 centimeters shy of that 1837, 1834. So in Chude, what can Chude do?
Loni druhá nakladně, 18:33.
Low 18s. Might be a slight improvement on her 1812 opener.
18:18. Přidala 6 cm.
1812.
New result of the day. 18:18. A přichází žena, která má u svého jména výkon z Apeldoornu 20:31. Před 3 dny výkon světa číslo 1.
So Chude 1790 with that.
Jo.
Sorry, 1818. So a slight improvement within Chude. Now Schilder though, still struggling for her best form that she showed in Apeldoorn at the weekend. That's over 19 meters, but somewhat shy of the 20-meter mark.
19.50.
Well, it is an improvement to 1950 for Schilder. As I say, she's still, though, feeling as though there's plenty more to come. 81 centimetres shy of the national record she got last Saturday. Mitten, though, throwing very well indeed. That's around the 19.5 metre mark again. She's rattling off a very good series. Well, 1960.
Závěrečná 6. série a junior má tečku tohoto závodu v ústech.
That's one of the best efforts of her life, but still only the second best in this competition. As we now look at Amon of Germany taking her very last throw. Can she finish with a flourish? I don't think so, unfortunately. Nevertheless, good experience for the young German, who was fourth, as I say, at the European Under-20 Championships last year in Jerusalem. She'll move into the Under-23 ranks, and she'll be able to compete in Bergen next year if she qualifies. So, Katrin Brichkowska. Rotational thrower. Looking to improve on her third round.
Hodit na meetingu Hvězdy v Nehvizdech sezóně maximum je fajn, bylo to 16:68 a to ve druhé sérii.
Not a bad effort from her.
Ale tady je to 17:06.
Now, Emily Campbell.
Nový osobák, poprvé 17 metrů, personal best for Katrin. Takže Amelia Campbell from Great Britain.
Well, you can hear in English, personal best for Brezhinkowska. 17:06. So for the first time in her life, over 17 meters. At least indoors. Does have an outdoor best that dates right the way back. No. It is really the first time over 17 meters under any circumstances for Brezhinkowska.
Jak je vidno, ambice byly mnohem výš než samotný výkon.
It's about the 17-meter mark as well for Emily Campbell.
Maria Belen-Toimil 18:23 hodila v 5. sérii, zlepšuje se a vyrovnala svůj sezónní výkon číslo 1.
Maria Belen-Toimil, best of 18:23 in the last round. Oh, that's another good effort, though, from the 29-year-old Spaniard. 7 times national champion. Competes for Players de Castillon, who are going to have teams in the European Clubs Cup cross-country this coming Sunday in Albufeira, Portugal. Another good effort, though, from Tomil. 18:38 for Tomil, best of the competition.
že Fanny má šanci na to odpovědět.
Moves her just in front of Fanny Roos into third place. Now Roos, who was third last year, fourth in 2022. How can she respond? 18:37 to her name at the moment. 18:38 to get on the podium. I don't think that's far enough.
Celkem vyrovnané výkony napříč sériemi, nakonec 18:37 zůstane jako nejlepší pokus.
Season's best when she threw 18:37.
Čtvrté, případně páté místo, o tom rozhodne Jessica Inchude. Jessica, there's 18:18.
18:18 for
series.
Fanny Roos. Now, Jessica Inchulde. 17:49, I should say, for Roos. Don't think that's going to improve Inchude's position.
Jessica tady loni skončila na 5. místě a letos
moment,
si to
she's
zopakuje.
lying down in 5th place with 18:18.
Reprezentantka africké země byla 4. na africkém mistrovství v kouli, 9. v disku. Umí. A teď Jessica Schilder from Netherlands. Zatím 19:50, druhé místo. 19:50, second place.
So Inchude had 17:64, so no improvement for her. Now it's Schilder. No, that's no improvement, so she's going to be second for the second year in succession. She had 19:12 to get second place last year. She's done better this year with that 19:50. I don't think that's going to be any improvement, though, with her final effort. So victory is confirmed as going to Sarah Mitten with that meeting record of 1982 and that Canadian national indoor record. Can she go over 20 metres indoors for the first time ever? Well, it's a good effort. Let's just wait and see what that... I think it's about 19.5 metres. Don't think it's going to quite improve on her best. No, how wrong can you be? It is over 20 metres. 20.08. So she really does finish with a flourish, the Canadian, with a meeting record. The first time 20 metres has been breached in Nehvizdech by the women, and a Canadian indoor record into the bargain. And that will be a huge boost for Mitten as she goes towards the World Indoor Championships in Glasgow in less than 2 weeks' time. Mitten really has set the seal on this competition and set out her stall as potential medalist at those World Indoor Championships. There's the full results. And indeed it was Sarah Mitten taking the plaudits with 20.08. Jessica Schilder, still the world leader with 20.31 from last weekend, 19.50. And in third place, Maria Tomil with 18.38. Just a few words, though, from the woman who finished a little bit further down the results, Katrin Breškovská getting a personal best of 17.06. So good result then for the Czechs as well, and plenty to cheer.
Že to je překonání další obrovské mety a za účasti Heleny Fivingerové, která proslavila kouli v české atletice a ve světové atletice.
No tak já už tak poslední půl rok vím, že jako mám na to hodit těch 17 metrů, ale jenom jsem čekala, kdy to přijde, no.
Bude oslava?
Bude oslava.
Tak ať to jde dál a hlavně ať to žít zdraví, ať se vám hezky studuje v Americe. Mějte se moc hezky.
Handshake.
Congratulations, first place. 20 meters is a big line. How much time in life you have over 20 meters, about?
I think this is my 4th time over 20 meters, but my first time indoors, so I feel like I'm set up for a pretty good outdoor season.
It's your indoor personal record at this moment, yes? Congratulations, good luck, good luck.
Rather brief interview there from the interviewer, but as you heard there, Sarah Mitten, first time over 20 metres indoors, and indeed the first Canadian over 20 metres indoors. Well, with the women's shot put having been concluded, the men can come out and start practicing for the high jump. They've been out there. There's two separate arenas side by side each other, and we will see both the men's shot put and the men's high jump competing alongside each other very shortly. Nice innovation, having the spectators sitting in the middle of the arena. Really do get a bird's eye view, up close and personal. Once again, we have Helena Fibingarova chatting away. I wonder what she thought of that, bearing in mind that she was regularly over 20 metres and indeed 21 metres in the mid-1970s onwards to the mid-1980s. Well, Fibingarova retired from competition in 1987 after finishing 7th in those World Championships, the second edition, going to Rome as the defending champion, having won in Helsinki. As I said, still the world indoor record holder 47 years later.
Jak vidíš ten ústup ze slávy Číňanek? Číňanky přece jednu dobu byly naprosto hvězdné v kouli.
Určitě oni, ale když jsem je viděla, já jako vrhačka jsem vždycky strašně moc běhala, oni dokázali hodit 20 metrů, ale na to, aby se to jako posunulo dál, tak to moc nebylo. A dneska já říkám, já je obdivuju všechny ty koulačky. Já nevím, jestli bych byla schopná se tu otočku naučit. Já jsem byla sunařka, takže já je obdivuju. A vlastně jsem šla říct naší koulačce, aby tam trošku udělala jednu věc. Ona ji udělala, to mě potěšilo a hodila 17 metrů.
Ať se ti daří a děkujeme, že nám pomáháš tady v Nehvizdech. Ať se daří. Helena Fibingarová, manažerka české atletiky, světová rekordmanka v hale a mistryně světa nezapomenutelným vrhem 21.05 na mistrovství světa, premiérové mistrovství světa v Helsinkách 1983. Heluš, ať se daří. No a my se posuneme s programem dál. Je příjemné, jakou atmosféru jste tady vytvořili u koulařek a já bych si moc přál, aby až přijde ta silnější polovina lidstva.
So here we see some of the highlights of that women's shot put competition that concluded just a little bit earlier.
Výška v sektoru tam, který
you can see the women's shot put circle just very slightly raised, but in line with the raised shot put landing area. Just imagine force of those shot puts, 4 kilogram shot puts, do an awful lot of damage to a sports hall floor.
Poprosíme o trošku muziky, která se nám hodí. No a teď budete mít možnost se rozhodovat, kdo, kde, jaké místo obsadí.
Infield area, absolutely packed with spectators, and also, if you're looking at the high jump bed, down on the left-hand side of the arena as well. The Sportovní hala in the centre of Nehvizdech.
Půjdeme také na ceremoniál k právě skončené soutěži žen v kouli. So please, Maria Belen-Toimil, Jessica Schilder and Sarah
infield
Mitten,
announcer calling the
here for ceremony.
Top three to the dais to get presented with their awards for first, second and third in the women's shot put competition. And of course, they will be presented appropriately so by Helena Fibingarova.
Máme tady rozhovor.
There you can see a packed adjacent arena for the women's shot put competition. Two separate sports halls here in Nehvizdy. Indeed, it's a sport complex more than a sports hall. As mentioned before, we're about 8 or 9 kilometers just out to the east of Prague. So very easy to get to. Men's shot put will get underway in exactly 30 minutes' time. Men's high jumpers, well, they're starting from behind the shot put area. Rapt attention. Plenty of children involved. There's the big local club, one of the leading clubs in the Czech Republic, the Sokol Nehvizdy, based in this arena. Just seen European indoor champion Douwe Amels of the Netherlands go clear. As I say, the jumpers just going through the paces at the moment. This is a permanent track, unlike some of the high jump competitions which have laid down temporary tracks over the course of the last few weeks, then tear them up again to let other activities take place. Had that situation in Hvezdy, not very far from here in the south of the Czech Republic, and over the border in Banská Bystrica in the Slovak Republic. Yeah, I'm just wondering who we've lost there. Can't have lost Sarah Mitten, so it must have been one of the other two. Jessica Schilder and Maria Belen Tomil. Oh, nice little display, and of course, well, Moravian wine. I've had a glass on occasions, and a very good local product it is as well.
Čas nás tlačí, jdeme na ceremoniál po ženském finále v kouli. Let's go to flower ceremony after shot put women final.
And at last we do have the prize ceremony for the women's shot put. As the music rains out.
Máme tady předávání cen pro nejlepší koulařky Předávat bude pan Jiří Poběrežský, starosta obce Nehvizdy. So let's go for a ceremony, girls.
Oh, here we are at last. There's all three women.
Třetí místo Maria Belen Toimil
Touch on the informal side, but in third place it was Maria Belen Toimil.
Výkon 18:38, 18:38. Third place for Maria Belen Toimil.
The Spaniard getting 18:38. That effort coming in the very last round.
Second place
saw her overtake
from
Fanny Roos
Netherlands,
and
Jessica
get on the podium.
Schiller.
So Jessica Schilder, I think she'll probably be a little bit disappointed with that. 1950, but well down on the marks that she had to take the world lead in Apeldoorn at the weekend when she won at the Dutch Indoor Championships. Apeldoorn, of course, the venue for the European Indoor Championships this time next year.
První místo, dámy a pánové, a velký potlesk. First place for Sarah Mitten.
But Sarah Mitten deservedly taking the plaudits with a superb display. 1982 in the second round and improved with the competition won 20.08. Both of those marks being national records for the Canadian. First time a Canadian has been over 20 metres indoors. Local dignitaries getting in on the act.
Společné foto a během chvíle se také odprezentuje sestava mužů, která bude bojovat ve finále mužské výšky.
Alongside her, the governor of the Central Bohemia region, Petra Peševa. Hugs all round. I suspect Maria Belen will know what a good wine is coming from Spain. Well, we've got about 8 minutes to go before the start of the men's high jump competition. The introduction's coming just before that. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break from commentary. See you very shortly.
Dámy a pánové, čeká nás prezentace výškařů pro nadcházející Ačkové finále, kdy je ve hře strašně moc. Je tu uvolněná pozice nejlepšího muže meetingu. Ve hře jsou také celkem finanční odměny, pro vítěze třeba 1500 €, takže je o co soutěžit. Máme tady skvělé výškaře, medailisty z velkých světových akcí. Navíc startovní pole čítá 11 jmén, takže to bude hodně zajímavé.
11 athletes in the jumping order.
V sestavě výškařů je Melvin
Starts
Lika
off with
Holm,
the reigning European
který
under 20 champion, Melvin Lika Holm,
proto, aby byl dobrý.
son of
Hned
course of
tatínek
the
Stefan Holm,
very, very well known
olympijského
former
závodu z
Olympic
Aten
champion
2004,
Stefan
je
Holm.
bronzový na mistrovství světa v Paříži a je to 4násobný halový evropský šampion. Navíc je tady s námi v hale, takže se určitě můžete následně vyfotit, případně získat i nějaký ten podpis od jedné z ikon atletického nebe.
So here's the presentation.
Melvin Ligholm is son of former great athlete for high jump from Sweden, Stefan Holm.
Here you can
Olympic
hear
winner from Athens,
Melvin Lika Holm being
2004.
introduced, improved his personal best at the Swedish
Also a medal
Championships
from
at the weekend
World
to
Championship,
2 meters
and he's
20.
a four-time European champion indoors for high jump. And also Stefan Holm is here with us, so that's
As you
great.
can hear, somewhere in the crowd is Stefan Holm, who's not just his father, but also his coach. Still got quite a way to go to challenge his father's feats,
Máme tu 11
let alone
výškařů,
being
pojďme
Olympic
tedy na jejich
champion.
prezentaci.
Also jumped 2
From
meters 40 at best.
Sweden, Melvin Lika Holm.
There you see Melvin Lika Holm acknowledging the crowd.
From Morocco, Saad Amouda.
Sada Amouda, Moroccan record holder, indoors and out,
From
best of
Greece,
2:21.
Antonios Merlos.
Antonio Merlos,
Ukraine, Vadim
former
Kravchuk.
world under 20 champion. This is Vadim Kravchuk, the
Nathan
Ukrainian.
Ismar from
Seen him in
France.
action a few times on European athletics live streams this year.
Eric Portillo from Mexico.
Nathan Ismir,
Ajaswin
Eric
Shankar
Portillo.
from India.
World Championships finalist.
Douwe Amels from Netherlands.
Very good decathlete. Asian Games silver medalist in the
Edgar
decathlon last
Rivera,
year.
Mexico.
Joshua Shankar. Edgar Rivera. Well, Rivera,
Maj Edin Gazal.
quite a
Syria.
familiar face. Following on from Eric Portillo. There's the 2017 World
Sang
Championships
Hyung
bronze
Woo
medalist,
from Korea.
Edin Gazil. We just missed Dewey Amels in there, and at the very end of that echelon,
Fantastické
Woo Sang-hyuk,
prezentování si výškařů.
world
Máme
indoor
před sebou
champion in
velkou soutěž, to je
2022,
bez zesporu.
and the world leader this year with
Rekord
2:33,
meetingu,
which
to
he
je
jumped
Tomas Karmoj,
in
Belgičan za
Hustopečke
227, to se dnes věřme, že bude
just 10 days ago.
potřásat v základech. Poslední příprava a následně už půjdeme na základní výšku 204 cm.
So the opening height will be 2 meters and 4, going up very quickly in 5 centimeter increments to 209 and then 214. Then it reduces to 4 centimeter increments, 218, 220, 225, aiming for a meeting record of 228. Let's see where we go from there. As I said, Woo Sang-hyuk been in absolutely fantastic form. Indeed, Woo, after last Tuesday's meeting in Banska Bystrica, travelled to Nehvizdey and he's been based here for the last 7 days. Well, Wu, he really made his breakthrough here back in 2022. Meeting was held about 3 weeks earlier at the end of January back in 2022, and at the time jumped a personal best of 2 meters 23. Wu then improved very quickly a couple of weeks later in Hvezdy to 2:36, and that remains his personal best, although he did have some good attempts at 2:37 in Banská Bystrica last week. I don't think a 2:37 clearance is far away for Wu. So, a lot of the jumpers actually passing this height. Melvin Leaker-Home deciding to take it. Also on the far side of the arena. That's made in Gazelle.
Dámy a pánové, výška mužů už začala. Melvin Leaker-Home má za sebou úspěšný pokus na 204 cm. Pojďme na Vadima Krivčuka z Ukrajiny.
So here's Vadim Kravchuk. Nicely over Kravchuk, still got his training bottoms on. Kravchuk, well, didn't get out of the qualifiers at the 2015 European Under-20s and the Under-23s 2 years later. Didn't get out of the qualifiers at last year's European Indoors, but definitely a talent. This is Medin Gazel, the Syrian. Based a lot of the time in Germany. And Gazel comfortably over. Gazel, Asian champion in 2019. As I say, his crowning glory being the bronze medal at the World Championships in London 7 years ago. Only ever Syrian man to get on the podium at the World Championships. Struggled a bit this indoor season though. Best 210, winning the B competition in Hvezdy. Relegated there after a rather poor performance 3 days earlier in Trinec. So we'll see probably a few more athletes come into the competition now that the bar's going up to 2 meters 9. I'd expect nearly everybody to come in at this height, apart from maybe Wu.
Melvin Holm.
So it is Melvin Leaker-Home. First to attempt 209. Nicely over for the teenage Swede. Seems to be a bit stuck at 218. He'd cleared that on no less than 6 occasions until Saturday. And on home soil in Kiel, flew clear at 2 meters 20 and had good attempts, so I'm told, at 223. So, Said Hamuda. Cleared the national record outdoors at 221. Indoors, he's got a Moroccan record at 220. Nicely over there for Hamuda. No problems for the Moroccan. Now 30 years of age. Based a lot of the time in France, a member of a French club. Poitiers. Antonio Merlos. Donis Merlos, I should say. He's clear.
Bez nějaké velké rezervy, ale počítá se zdařený pokus. Ten je na prvním místě.
Merlos was a bit stuck.
Back
in 2018, cleared his previous outdoor best at 2:23, but then improved last year finally, 5 years later to 2:24, which remains his personal best.
V koulařském sektoru se už borci připravují na svou soutěž. Za chvíli proběhne i jejich prezentace.
So here's Vadim Kravchuk.
Soutěži Vadim Kravchuk.
Cleared it. Personal best equaling 2:25 in Wuppertal. That was at the end of January. That looks good from Ukrainian.
K prvnímu soutěžnímu pokusu se připraví Eric Portillo z Mexika. First attempt for Eric Portillo. Loni 4. místo, dvojnásobný mexický šampion ve výšce. A vítěz Kladno Indoor, takže už má zkušenosti. Atletikou a to ty nejlepší možné. Také vítěz Memoriál Josefa Sečkáře.
Could hear the infield announcer. Yes, there we have sight of Eric Portillo.
Takže tady umíme tleskat.
The effervescent and entertaining Mexican, always a smile on his face, always a delight to watch in action. Never seems to be too disappointed. And that's nicely clear for the Mexican. Two-time national champion. Of course, still the Mexican number 2 most of the time, behind Edgar Ribera, who will be coming up very shortly. Jumped 2:25 in Hvezdy 10 days ago, and then a week ago jumped 2:20 in Banska Bystrica. So he's in reasonable form at the moment. Here's Tejasvin Shankar, the Indian. Indian record holder outdoors with 2:29. Formerly at American University, 2 times NCAA champion. National indoor record at 2:28. Cleared that on a couple of occasions while he was at US University, 2018, 2019. I'm wondering if he's watching this European Athletics live stream just to get an idea of what was going on there. Now, Dawi Amel's European indoor champion 12 months ago when he took that title in Istanbul, equaled a personal best of 2:31. Sort of plateaued out for a number of years. Not a full-time athlete. His previous best had come back in 2013 and improved that a decade later. His form's been a bit indifferent this winter, I think it's fair to say. Won the Dutch title last weekend at 2:16, but well clear there at 2:09.
Je to tam, Dawi Amels, good attempt. Úřadující mistr Evropy v hale z Istanbulu. Má za sebou i titul mistra Evropy do 23 let.
Edgar Ribera.
Držitel národního rekordu za 231 cm.
He was 5th here last year with 2:22. So shouldn't have too many problems with this height. He's jumped 2:21 this year at Hvezdy. And he finished down in 9th in that very high quality competition. Struggled a bit last week in Banska Bystrica, just 2:15. So, in the meantime, he's been back to his winter base in Zurich. 2:09 for the Mexican Ribera. No problems.
Edgar Rivera, good attempt. Jeho bratr Luis byl výborný dálkař, bronzový z mistrovství světa, vítěz univerziády. Takže bratři velmi dobří reprezentanti Mexika.
So, Medin Gazal.
Edina Gazala, jak jsem říkal, muž, který tady zná
four times an Asian Indoor Championships medalist, going all the way back to 2012. Indeed, 5 times, as I can see, going back to 2008. He's 37 years of age now. Never a winner. 3 second places and 2/3 for the Syrian. Oh, crashed through that. That's symptomatic of his season, really. He's been struggling. Just doesn't look like the Majed Ghazal of years before. There's his coach. 2 competitions, as I said, 2:10 in Trinech, 2:20 in Gustapeche. So, second attempts. Tejashwin Sankar, the Indian. Rather scrappy first effort. It should be straightforward for the Indian, and indeed gets the white flag off to one side, goes clear.
Good attempt.
Now Majed Ghazal. There you can see all the flags of all the countries in competition here. So the last man at this height, Majed Ghazal. Tall, rangy Syrian. Now he's over. So the bar will go up to 2 meters 14. Everybody over 2:14. I should say 2:09. Apart from Wu Sang-yok, who's yet to come into the competition. And in another part of the Sportovny Hala, well, the men's shot put will be getting underway very shortly. Here's the presentation, all the athletes. We'll bring you up to date with these as the competition gets underway. There's Scott Lincoln in the black t-shirt. Alongside him, the tall Egyptian, Mohamed Hamza.
A je tady 4násobný vítěz v řadě, rekordman meetingu.
The Nigerian, who, as you heard, second last year.
A velká hvězda, the big star of the competition. From New Zealand,
Thomas Stanek, and alongside him,
mistr světa venku.
Tom Walsh.
Mistr světa v hale. A 2krát bronzový na olympijských hrách.
Very familiar figure in the European circuit. 2017 shot put world champion and 2 times world indoor champion in 2016 and 2018.
Bude to i trochu náročnější pro diváky, aby dokázali sledovat vše podstatné v rámci soutěží.
And as always, nearly always, competes in his national vest.
Nemělo, tedy takzvaně za halou. Je parkovací
the bar's going up to 2:14 now.
Riskujete tedy pokutu vozem, kterým jste přijeli. Takže pokud máte prostor, tak doporučujeme přeparkovat na místa určená pro to, abyste tam mohli parkovat bez rizika nějaké pokuty. Viděl jsem seznam zhruba 8-10 aut, které podle místních policistů parkují špatně, takže to je výzva možná pro vás, pokud jste přijeli na poslední chvíli. 2:14, 2:14. A série pokusů Melvin Ligholm.
So now the first man to attempt 2:14, Melvin Ligholm.
A v kouli začne Tadeáš Procházka.
Trenér a tatínek v jedné osobě, Štefan Holm, jak už jsme naznačili v Aténách, a letos tomu tady bude 20 let, olympijský vítěz. První z mistrovství světa v Paříži před 21 lety.
So, Tadeusz Procházka.
Hodně dobrý vstup do soutěže.
1869 throw at best.
$19.35.
So Said Hamuda getting the backing of the crowd. Looking to become the first man to go clear at this height after Holm's failure just a moment ago. No, he fails as well.
Šimon Mazur.
Bit of a scrappy jump from the Moroccan. Well, try and keep you informed with what's going on both in the shot put and the high jump as we switch between the two events going on in separate parts of the hall.
Procházka, výkon roku, 19.35. Miguel Gómez, Španěl.
Merlos má skočeno Kravčuk na
the Greek,
214.
former world under-20 champion.
Prvním pokusem.
Showing good form. Return to form for the Greek after a few difficult years following his world under-20 title.
Nastupuje bronzový z her Commonwealthu 2022 Birminghamu.
Well, the Ukrainian nicely clear at 209. Perhaps you could say so he should be. But if you just think about how high it is, mark out 2 meters and 9 and 2 meters and 14 on the wall, and you'll see it's a pretty high height. 2 meters 14 in old money, old imperial measurements, 7 foot and quarter of an inch. Kravchuk clear as well. Now it's the turn of Eric Potilov. As I said, he was fourth last year with 222. Respectable performance. I think he'd like to go a bit higher this year. And of course, for both the men's shot put and high jump, it's a first prize check of €1,500. And the money goes all the way down to fifth place. So after 1,500, it's 1,000, 700, and so on. And Portillo, I think, just catches the bar. It just twitches a little bit. Jumps a long, long way away. At the high heights, you need to be hitting those marks a long way away. Now, Enakweche.
Jaswin Shankar, 214, 214 for this representant of India.
A je tu loni stříbrný Chukwuemeka Enakweche z Nigérie. Loni
so Scott Lincoln leading in this very early stage of the competition, halfway through the first round of the shot with 20.49. We saw there Tadeusz Procházka got a personal best of 1935.
Enakweche, skvělý pokus.
Shankar, the Indian, over as well. It's by no means certain whether he's focusing on the decathlon or not at the moment. I haven't had the chance to research that, but he's here in Europe jumping.
Pouhých 13 cm od rekordu Tomáše Staňka, který nastupuje do kruhu.
So Tomáš Staněk next into the circle. Staněk, two-time winner here in 2022-2023.
Tady máme velké želízko v ohni. Tomáš Staněk. 4krát v řadě tu
Meeting record holder with 21.45 from last year. Also won in 2020 as well when he threw 21.23. So, well, we saw a meeting record in the women's shot put. Can we get another one in the men's event? No, that's a bit short there, and he just spins out. Didn't see it, but I think it's a red flag. Just wait for confirmation. Yes, you can see that with the long shot there. He does indeed spin out. So, Tom Walsh. So as we come to the end of the first round, and Akwechi reached 21.32, so that's a pretty decent target for Walsh. Oh, that's over 21 metres. That's a really good effort from the New Zealander.
Well, he's
had 3 competitions this year. Went out to 21.16 when finishing in second place in Lievan. Magic Gazal. Pretty sure that took the lead though for Tom Walsh. Yes, 21.81 for the New Zealander. No, Gazal fails. So 3 men have brought the bar down at this height. 2.14. Jumped too close to the bar, I'd say. Now, Tateus Pajasha. No, deliberately fouls it, didn't like that. Nevertheless, how things turn out. He's had a good start to the competition, 19.35. Personal best for the Czech thrower. So, Lika Holmes, second attempt, 2.14, and nicely clear for the young Swede. So the bar will go up to 2.18 for him. A height he's navigated on many, many occasions. Let's bang on the 19-meter mark for Gomez.
Kouli Miguel Gomez, který má osobní rekord 20 metrů, 30 centimetrů.
Gomez gets the white flag.
Dařený pokus.
As we switch back, Hamuda. Just caught a glimpse of Hamuda preparing to take his jump.
Scott Lincoln, zatím 24
Hamuda's clear.
Druhé, třetí místo.
Hamuda skáče.
So nicely done for the Moroccan.
A o to samé se pokusí Mač Eden Gazal.
Majid Gazal. Once again, the last man this height.
9 z 10 výškařů už se dostalo.
Men's shot put, he's going along very quickly. There's Scott Lincoln. Well, Lincoln's had a good few weeks.
Pod Palačákem na závodě vzhůru Brno. Osobní rekord 20.74, přidal 25 cm.
Well, we're not wasting much time here switching between events. No, Gazal. Third and final attempt, though, coming up at 2.14.
Bronzový medailista z mistrovství světa v Londýně v roce 2017. Loni dělené 7. místo, rok předtím byl 4.
Bring you up to date with Lincoln's effort, 20.74. So that has him in third place. So Tom Walsh just doing the caretaker duties, cleaning up the circle.
Teď tedy stříbrný loni Chukwuebuka Enekwechi z Nigérie.
Oh, another good effort then from the Nigerian.
To je ale kus chlapíka.
Enekwechi.
Měl 21-32 v první sérii.
That's another big throw over 21 meters.
21-63, no to je soutěž.
Leaker home just going through his routine, but Garzal still got a third attempt to come.
A přivítáme Tomáše Staňka a zkuste si vzpomenout na tu atmosféru u závěrečných pokusů koule žen.
Well, 21.63 for Enekwechi. That's an African indoor record. So Tomáš Staněk, winner of the last two competitions here in Nehvizdy, spins out again though. Just can't keep his technique together at the moment. Staněk, European Indoor Champion in 2021, struggling a little bit. He will go to the World Indoors, and Garzal finally makes it at the third attempt. The bar can now go up to 2 meters 18 in the high jump. Now, Walsh. Under a bit of pressure from Enekwechi, who's having a really good competition. Walsh, 21.81 with his first round effort. That's another big effort over 21 meters. He, of course, is looking for big throws, though, over 22 meters. Not totally happy with that, but nevertheless, a really good effort from the New Zealander, former world champion. So into the ring, Tadeusz Prochaska. Walsh, just bring you fully up to date, 21.76. So foul in the last round after his personal best of 19.35 in the first round. Did he stay in the circle? No, it's a red flag. You can see the women's throwers looking on intently, watching their male counterparts. Now.
Koule teď hrála prim, ale vracíme se zpátky do výšky. Melvin Holm si žádá potlesk na 218 cm u prvního pokusu.
Under 20 champion. Won that title in Jerusalem in early August last year. Oh. Not far away. As I said, he had a personal best prior to last weekend of 2.18, which he cleared on no less than 6 occasions, but finally made the breakthrough on home soil in Kils. Hamouda. Critical height for Hamouda. This would be a Moroccan indoor record. His last competition on the 2nd of February in Germany cleared 2.17 for a Moroccan indoor record. Can he increase it by a centimetre here in Nehvizdy? Hamouda now 30 years of age. He wasn't that far away either. Second attempt for the Moroccan. Just clips it off with his backside. So Scott Lincoln. 20.74 in the last round for Lincoln. Let's have a look at that again. Well, that's a good effort once again. It's not far from the 21-meter line, but perhaps not quite as far as his previous attempt. Adonios Merlos, no, brings the bar down. Still waiting for the first man to go clear at 2:18. There you go. You can see in the background there, I think that's the local school children. It's their annual task to produce posters and banners for the athletes competing here. And I can see Scott Lincoln's there. So, Chukwuebuka Enekweche. African indoor record in the previous round. Not sure that's quite as far. Over 21 meters, about 21.5 meters. Perhaps just a fraction shy of his mark of 21.63 in the previous round.
21.57, to je série. 21.32, 21.63, 21.57.
So Vadim Kravchuk.
To vstoupí Tom Staněk, protože ten už se na to nemůže
quickly over to Tomáš Staněk.
Už to musí vzít do teplejch a pojď na to!
Staněk, 2 fouls. How can he respond? This is crucial to getting a valid throw. Still got 3 throws left in the second half of the competition. No, another red flag for Staněk. Well, that's a big disappointment. Staněk's thrown 21.33 already this year. That was in Ostrava, also on Czech soil back on the 30th of January. Now, Tom Walsh. Well, he's the event leader. That's another good effort from Walsh. Let's see if that's an improvement.
Že by nový rekord. Další zlepšení rekordu o 15
Well, 21.81 in his opener. 21.96 at the halfway point. Well, he's really dominating this competition. Tom Walsh, 3 efforts better than anybody else. All 3 of his valid throws. So the judges will reorder the throwers. We'll focus for the next few minutes on the high jump. Eric Portillo. Ooh. Lives dangerously, clips the bar. It's wobbling up and down, but he gets away with it.
Good attempt to 18. A teď půjde do akce Tejaswin Shankar z Indie.
So Portillo, the first man over.
Borci v kouli budou mít pozadí. Staněk bude začínat, pač nemá žádný měřený pokus. Druhý Gomez, třetí Mazur, čtvrtý Procházka, pátý Hamza, šestý Lincoln, sedmý Enekweche a osmý Walsh.
No, wasn't to be this time for the Indian, but he has 2 more attempts.
Čtvrté série zahajuje 4násobný vítěz tohoto meetingu. Tomáš Staněk.
So Tomáš Staněk, having had 3 fouls, is the first man to go into the circle at the start of this 4th round. At the moment, he's currently unplaced, hasn't got a valid throw-in. As I say, though, he's thrown over 21 metres this year. Nevertheless, Anakweche and Walsh throwing extremely well at the moment. Both men well over 21 metres themselves at the top end of the results at the moment. Now, yes, Stanek, the very popular local shot putter, finally gets a legal effort in, and it's a really good one. Round the 21.5 metre mark. That may well be a season's best for the former European indoor champion.
To je výkon lepší, než byl loňský rekordní pokus Tomáše Staňka.
Eric Ribera.
Výkon roku samozřejmě v tuto chvíli.
Edgar Ribera. Sorry.
A ve výšce Edgar Rivera z Mexika, 218 cm. Pojďme ho pozbudit.
Not confusing him with Eric Portillo, just getting the names a bit mixed up. So Ribera. He's had a week's break from jumping. Went back to his training base in Zurich, the Mexican, and nicely over at 218. Well, reacquainting himself with Majid Ghazal, who got the bronze at the 2017 World Championships. This man just missed out with 4th place. Was 7th at the last World Indoor Championships. And on cue, here is Majid Ghazal. Well, he's been struggling in this competition. To be fair, he's been struggling throughout the indoor season. Needed 3 attempts at the previous height. And for a man who's jumped 236, that's moderate. So brings the bar down for the first time at 218, the Syrian. Well, I do believe that Wu is going to come in at this height. As we see, today is Proshak, sir. No, red flag for him. Spun out. Right foot just touching outside of the circle. So our first glimpse of Woo Sung-hyuk, the reigning world indoor champion. And he makes that look very, very easy indeed, doesn't it? Well, he was making heights in the 220s look easy in Banska Bystrica and Husta Peche, so no surprise there. And the man who's dominating this shot put competition there, you can see. Well, there seems to be some sort of agreement between him and Scott Lincoln. He always seems to be cleaning the circle for Scott Lincoln. Anyway, Lincoln. .274, and he's lying in 3rd place at the moment. Lincoln. Ooh, bang on the 21 metre mark. Let's see whether that is 21 metres. I think just a fraction shy.
Dnes tady 20,74. Teď 20,59. Chukwuebuka Enekwechi, Nigérie. Zatím 21.
So, Saida Muda. This would be a Moroccan indoor record if he can go clear.
Super.
Trying to get the crowd behind him. Only a fairly small crowd. Numbered, I think, in the hundreds rather than the thousands in Nehvizdech. Oh, the height was there. It was just a bit of ragged technique.
Sáda Amody z Maroka na 218 centimetrech. Zbývá nám
So Thomas Walsh,
Tom Walsh
the New Zealander, former world champion both indoors and out. That winning streak from 2016 to 2018. 2 world indoor titles and a world outdoor title sandwiched between them. Into the bargain, he's taken the bronze medal at 2 Olympic Games, the last 2 Olympic Games. Oh no. He was going for a big one. Even though Enekweche is really pushing him, he was looking to get it over 22 metres and it just wasn't there that time. That's his first foul of the competition. Confirmation that Tomáš Staněk moved up to 3rd place with that 21.47 in the 4th round, but he still got to throw at the start of the 5th. As a result of having 3 fouls. Indeed, in some competitions, 3 fouls in the first 3 rounds would have seen you eliminated. But on the international circuit like this, the special rules can sometimes apply. And all the throwers get 6 efforts. So, Staněk. That's a red flag, though. He just can't hold it together. He looks physically in very good shape. But it's just a question of controlling the technique. That, again, was over 21 metres. As we look at Kravchuk. Kravchuk brings the bar down as well.
Vadim Kravchuk ve výšce, ale ani na podruhé nepřekonal 218 cm vysokou laťku. Opravný pokus také pro Shankara z Indie během chvíle.
Doesn't quite have the height.
Bylo by to určitě lepší, ale bylo to s červeným praporkem, takže Gomez musí zabrat v té poslední 6. sérii, která ho čeká.
So, Shankar, the Indian record holder, indoors and out.
Šimon Mazur.
Jumped 2:28 back in 2017 and 2018. Šimon Mazur. Pole.
To nevypadá špatně pro polského reprezentanta.
We haven't seen much of him in this competition.
1917.
Over the pole. It's best of 1917 from the first round.
A dostává se před našeho Tadeáše Procházku.
Shankar úspěšně opravil na 218 cm. Bronzový medailista z her Commonwealthu v Birminghamu 2 roky nazpět. A jak jsem říkal, už jistý kvalifikant na olympijské hry v Paříži.
Personal best of 1935 in the first round, but followed it up with 3 fouls. That looks as though it was over 19 metres again. Was it a red flag? I think it probably was, judging by his demeanour.
Tadeáš už tím prvním vrhem 19:35 vytvořil výkon sezóny. Teď 19:27, výborná série.
Dauve Amel si roztleskává publikum pro svůj pokus. Oprava na 218.
Mohamed Magdi Hamza v kouli.
So into the circle, Mohamed Hamza. Just shy of 21 metres. Gets the white flag though, the Egyptian. Former African under 20 champion Hamza.
20.25 a je tady Scott Lincoln. Zatím výtečný 20.74.
So Scott Lincoln
před 2 dny v Birminghamu
pushed down to 4th place.
8. titul v hale a dohromady
switch over to
17 ten Lebrit.
Madia Gazal. Second attempt for the Syrian. Oh, he gets over this time. He's pleased with himself. Made a bit of hard work over it, but still did well.
Bohužel pro něj už opravoval na třetí po sobě jdoucí výšce, tím tedy ztrácí energii. Na opravu na 218 jde Melvin Holm.
Enekveči 21.63 zatím.
So now 5 men over.
To je škoda. To je škoda. To bylo daleko.
And in second place after that African record.
Páté pokusy, fifth attempt for Tom Walsh from New Zealand.
It's a red flag.
Leader at 21.96.
Well, he's been throwing well, Enekweche. 21.63 in the second round and wasn't far away from it with 21.57 and 21.52. So Tom Walsh winds himself up, prepares and unleashes another big effort over 21 metres. But once again, like the previous round, a red flag. Nevertheless, still very much in command of this competition. His 3 valid efforts, better than anyone else has managed. So that finishes off round 5. Switching back to side Amuda. So the Moroccan. He's got the crowd behind him. The crowd have clearly taken to the Moroccan. Oh, and he gets over, yes! It's a national indoor record for the Moroccan. 2 meters 80. So now the 6th and final round. And it's Tomáš Staněk. Staněk currently in 3rd place with that 21.47 in the 4th round. Adonias Merlos, former world under-20 champion.
Kouli vrcholí soutěž, poslední 6. série. Kouli má teď absolutní přednost.
So Simon Mazur. That's Miguel Gomez, sorry. Departs with a foul.
Šimon Mazur, 19.92, 5. sérii.
Gomez will finish 8th in the competition with a best of 18.85 from his second round effort. Šimon Mazur, 19.92 in the last round. Looking for over 20 metres for the first time this season. Indeed, that 1992 was an indoor best for Monsieur. Been over 20 metres outdoors. Member of the AWF Warszawa Club.
1946 platí 1992 z 5. série. Výkon sezóny.
So good effort from Monsieur. Now, Prochaska, who's had a personal best in this competition, never thrown further indoors or out. No, that's a red flag, but reasonably pleased, I think, with his evening's work in Nehvizdy. I wonder if there's some family or friends out there in the audience with that 1935 opener. Goes into new territory. And congratulations from coaches and friends. Now, Mohamed Hamza. Huge list of regional plaudits. All Africa Games silver medalist in 2019 and the year before an African Championship silver medalist. Just a long list. Never won a major regional title though, other than his under-20 title back in 2015, but gets a red flag and he departs from the competition. So Hamza in 5th place with his best of 2025 in the last round. So Scott Lincoln at the moment 4th. 2074 to the Briton in the second round. He's going for a big one. That's not a bad effort at all. Now Lincoln has an indoor best of 21:01, which he reached just very recently. That was in Miramas in France at the start of this month. Not quite there, but I think you'll be pleased with that performance. So, Chukwubucha Enekweche, US-based Nigerian, African indoor record of 21:63 in the second round. Let's have a look at that again. Well, another effort around the 21-meter mark. So, this man confirmed as the winner here in Nehvizdech. He's going to take that €1,500 first prize check. Former European, I should say former world champion, of course, comes from New Zealand. Former world champion. And the rhythmic clapping. The very last man into the circle in this competition. Walsh spins. And that's another one over 21 meters. He was going for a big one though.
Thank you, Dom.
Yes. Did he stay in? Did he get the white flag? It wasn't. Congratulations though from Enekweche, firm friends that competed against each other a lot over recent years. Thomas Stanek, he knows him well. A couple of the others less so, but Tom Walsh, the winner at 21.96. And Chukwubucha Enekweche, 21.63, that African indoor record. Third place goes to the local star and former European indoor champion, Thomas Stanek, at 21.47. Those are the three men who went over 21 meters in that competition. So, sole focus of attention is on the high jump. Just saw there the first failure at 2 meters 22 for Said Hamuda. Having gone clear at a Moroccan indoor record of 2:18 at the previous height. So, Adonios Merlos preparing himself.
Merlos dal 209 prvním pokusem, 214 to samé, na 218 se zachránil třetím pokusem v soutěži.
No, just crashes into it, leads in with his shoulder.
Bez šance, Merlos schazuje. V soutěži už nepokračují Melvin Holm, ten třikrát schodil na 218, stejně jako Vadim Kravčuk, takže z původních 10.
Just to say, if you're enjoying this European Athletics live stream, well, we've still got events to come up. We've got pole vault competitions from Rouen and Clermont-Ferrand still to come over the course of the next week. Both of those meetings taking place in France, and they'll be streamed not on the European Athletics YouTube channel, which you're watching this on, but European Athletics' Facebook channel. So do keep in touch with those events, and of course, European Athletics, the governing body for the World Athletics Indoor Tour Silver and Bronze meetings.
Super, thank you very much. Good luck. Slyšeli jste, přátelé, slíbil, že za rok přijede znova, že se mu tady moc
Tom
zamlouvá.
Walsh looking very pleased with himself, this trip to Nehvizdech. So, Eric Portillo, first attempt at 2:22. Not that far away from it though, but brings the bar down. Got away with it at the first attempt at 2:18. Very similar jump, couldn't quite get away with it at this height.
Zatím nikdo těch 222 nedal. Amuda, Merlos a teď tedy Portillo. Třeba to zlomí za Indii závodící Tajaswin Shankar.
So, Tajaswin Shankar, Indian record holder. Blowing his cheeks out. Had the height, but perhaps took it off just too far away. Just left himself with a lot to do once he'd taken off. So took it down with his backside. Only had one competition this year, jumped 2:23, the Indian. That was in Hvezdy. Now, Dewey Amels. Amels, as I've said, personal best indoors this time last year to win the European indoor title of 2:31. But has been struggling. Apart from his 2:20 clearance in Banska Bystrica last week, and he finished down in 7th place. Hasn't been over 2:20 this year. Rather modest 2:16 was sufficient for him to take the Dutch indoor title on Saturday. Just checking my notes, yes. So Amels brings the bar down for the first time of asking at 2:22 as well. This height starting to shake them out. Well, we still have 8 men in the competition, but nobody's gone clear yet. So we've got Gazal, Ribera and Wu to come. Next up will be Edgar Rivera, who's flawless so far. So the Mexican, decent outing. Ribera just going through the mental routine. Whoa! He took off a long way away, but he had the height. He really put a lot into that jump, and he becomes the first man to go clear. Well, Ribera was 5th with 2:22 last year. I wonder what 2:22 will bring here this time around. He's Mexicans in the lead as a result of his flawless set of 4 attempts. So, Majid Ghazal, Syrian, well, has had somewhat of an erratic competition. Quite a lot of failures, but he's still in there battling. Has jumped 2:20 this year, so this would be a season's best of 2:22. No, a poor jump though from the Syrian. So just Woo Sung-yok to come.
Borci vynechávat, tak nás čeká 6 oprav na této výšce 222.
No, Wu's going to pass this height. He's going to come back in again at 225. So we'll start again with Said Hamouda. That's how things look at the moment. Yes, we lost Vadim Kravchuk and Melvin Leaker home at the earlier heights of 218. The bar's now at 222. So, Said Hamouda, 1 Moroccan indoor record to his name. If he clears this would be an absolute Moroccan record. Nobody has ever cleared this height, indoors or out. Hamouda cleared 221 for a Moroccan outdoor record in Limoges in 2022. Pretty decent effort, but it was all just a bit hurried in some respects. Certainly looking determined. You can see by his torso, he's had good height with his torso above the bar, but clipped it off with his backside.
Ale musí také dbát na to, že by mohl být jeho poslední v soutěži. Oprava na 222.
Worth noting that Hamouda's never been to a major international championships. Now, here's a man who has and succeeded. The World Under-20 champion in 2018, Adonios Merlos.
222 by bylo novým rekordem sezóny.
Oh, just all too hurried. He just rushing into it. Just lost control and lost sight.
Michale, já tě poprosím, dej mi prostor. Malinký prostor, protože já mám můj mikrofon.
Certainly no lack of determination there, but it was just rushed.
Pokus v soutěži, kdy se to naposledy přihodilo, Tomáši?
Tak všechny zdravím, děkuju za podporu, kterou jste nám tady vytvořili a nevím, kdy se to stalo a doufám, že se to dlouho nestane, protože jsem si málem nabil v rozcvičování, tak jsem pak byl takovej trošku rozhozený, ale jsem rád, že aspoň ten jeden tam padnul a že jsem vybojoval bednu.
21,47 je super, ale není tam trošku problém s tím kruhem, že tam padá magnézium z dlaní a že tam je ta kluskost z toho povrchu trošku jiná, než na kterou jste zvyklí na betonu?
No, ono je to spíš v tom, že se to magnézko lepí na boty a každým tím vstupem do toho kruhu tak nanáší tam to magnézko a pak to malinko klouže. No.
Je to bedna, to je pravda, ale současně je to výkon sezóny 21,47. Jak to bude dál směrem ke světovému šampionátu? Co připravujete?
Tak ještě mám jeden závod, vlastně zlatý tour v Madridu za 3 dny asi, takže budu mít takový reparátek zase, ale jsem rád, že to jde správným směrem, že de facto dneska zajišťovákem jsem hodil 21,5, tak myslím si, že, nebo doufám, že to bude jen a jen lepší a budu mít z těch pokusů víc měřených.
Děkuji a budeme se těšit na další zlepšení. Přátelé, potles pro Tomáše Staňka za dnešní odvedený výkon 21,47. Gratulujeme pěkně.
Finishing third on this occasion with his fourth round 21.47. So no fourth title in Nehvizdech for the much like Czech shot putter. He's also lost his meeting record with Tom Walsh having putted 21.96. Now Eric Portillo, second attempt for the Mexican. Portillo jumped 228 2 years ago, and he's over 222 now. So we got 2 Mexicans clear at 222. Eric Portillo rattling the bar, catching it with his heels. But good height, there you go. He's always a popular figure. There's a lot of his training with Edgar Rivera. But Rivera's still the Mexican record holder indoors and out. And here's a man who holds the Indian high jump records indoors and out. So, Teshasvin Shankar. So, second failure for the Indian. 10 days ago, jumped 223 in Heist-Toptenberg.
Kdo se blízkl záchranou jako hrom na předchozí výšce byl Douwe Amels z Nizozemí na potřetí.
Douwe Amels
218 úspěchem.
Didn't have a particularly good first effort.
Na 222.
This height of 222 shaking them out a little bit, but still 8 men in the competition. Only 2 clear though at this height. Woo Sung-yok, world indoor champion, has passed this height though, up to 225. Smiling at that big teddy bear slumped towards the wall at the back there. So, Douwe Amels, European indoor champion from 12 months ago in Istanbul, but struggling to stay in this competition. Yeah, well, that was a much better jump. Bags of height there, but just left his heels trailing. You've got to get everything over the bar. That's the rules of the game.
Má skočených 218, což pro ně byl základ. Tuhle výšku vynechává. Věřme, že bude útočit mnohem výš. Že se v základech.
There's confirmation. We got 2 men over. Rivera and Portillo, both from Mexico. Clear at 222. So the last man to take his second attempt at this height, Majed Ghazal. This will be a season's best for the Syrian. Ooh, it just sort of laboured, didn't it? It's just not there this year. Ghazal in the past has looked so fluid, so rangy, but it's not quite happening this year for him.
Shankar, Amels a právě Ghazal, ti všichni 3 budou mít na této výšce 3. pokusy.
So we've got 5 men to take third and final attempts at this height. 2 meters 22. Just to mark your card, the meeting record 227 belongs to Thomas Carmoy from 2022. So, Saeed Hamouda, third and final attempt at 2 meters 22. The Moroccan, well, nobody from his country has ever jumped higher than this. If he can go clear, he'll write his name into the history books of Moroccan athletics. Of course, we usually think of men's and women's long and middle distance running, but, well, they have produced some good field event athletes over the years. Usually good horizontal jumpers. Hamouda, Moroccan record holder. Oh! Not too bad.
Z Maroka tady končí. Základ 209 dal.
As you can see, the height was there, his torso was over. I think he just needs to go back and work on his technique a little bit. It's been around for a while. 30 years of age now.
Ve stejné pozici bude
That's,
také Řek Antonios
the old
Merlos.
cliche of teaching old dogs new tricks
Merlos, third attempt on
can be applied.
2:22.
You can teach old dogs new tricks. So, Hamuda departs this competition. It's now the turn of Adonios Merlos to have his third and final attempt at 2 meters 22. This would actually be an indoor best for Merlos. Personal best goes back to 2022 when he cleared 2:21 in home soil in Thessaloniki. Personal best outdoors of 2:24, which he set at the very end of last year's outdoor season. Goes around a very old style curve. Starts off and then dips out. Just wondering whether he's having a few problems getting a long run up in there. I haven't seen anything of Merlos in recent years, but he brings the bar down and we're not going to see anything more of him in this competition.
Stáváme na 222. Tajaswin Shankar I pro něj platí.
So now it's the turn of Tajaswin Shankar.
Pojďme Shankara podpořit maximálním potleskem.
Something particularly close with his two attempts at 2:22. He needs to dig deep.
V tomto finále.
As I say, he's cleared this height already this year, 10 days ago. He went over 2:23. So it's there. You can see nice shot of the crowd. It's all in that vantage point in the middle of the high jump area. He's slowing down, but he gets away with it.
Wow!
He's over.
Shankar
Free clear at this height with Woo Sang-yok having passed. So there'll be 4 men in the competition when the bar goes up to 2:25. Well, he looked as though he de-accelerated. Maybe that's what he needed to do because his previous attempts have been a bit hurried. Now, Dawi Amels.
Ještě také Dawi Amels, abychom jej nezapomněli v tom startovním poli aktivních výškařů, ale I pro něj platí.
European indoor champion. Sudden death for him. If he clears, he stays in this competition. And it's a season's best for him. If he brings the bar down, he's eliminated. So the Dutchman, now 32 years of age. As I've said, had a modest season by his standards so far. Takes a long run up right up against the back of the arena. No, just takes off far too far away, had the height. Comes in very quick, that's his style. It was a good couple of meters away from the bar when he took off. That's been the case all year for Dewey. Great character, very erudite personality. But it's a bit like one or two of the other jumpers in this field. Hasn't been quite happening for him this indoor season. So, the very last man to jump at this height once again, as he's been at several other heights in this competition, Majed Ghazal.
Ghazal má tady historii v Nehvizdech. Loni dělený 7., předloni 4.
World Championships bronze medalist in 2017. As I said, you could lay claim to being Syria's greatest ever male athlete. A smile on his face, but intense concentration. No. tries desperately to get himself over it. Took off too close to the bar that time. Left himself with a huge amount of work to do. Tries to wrap himself around it with that exaggerated backbend, but it doesn't quite work. So the bar will now go up to 225. We've got the Mexican pair of Portillo and Rivera in, and also Shankar of India, Wu Sangyok, still in the competition, having passed this height after that soaring clearance at 218. So 4 men battling for 3 places on the podium. Well, we hope you're enjoying this European Athletics live stream, because we've got plenty more live streams to come. We've got several more during the course of this indoor season, going out on European Athletics Facebook and YouTube channels, and a full programme can be found on the homepage of the European Athletics website, www.european-athletics.org, and that'll also point you the way to all the other European Athletics social media channels, where there's bags of news, bags of insight, lots of videos from previous European Athletics events, whether they were the big championships like last year's European Indoor Championships or the 2022 European Athletics Championships, or even the Spa European Cross Country Championships, which are held every year, or events like this one from the World Athletics Indoor Tour. And we'll be having a huge program of events as well coming up in the summer on the World Athletics Continental Tour. So these bags of content there for athletics fans. Of course, this year we'll have live streaming from the Rome 2024 European Athletics Championships, 7th to the 12th of June. That's the big event of the calendar as far as continental athletics is concerned. Tickets still available as well for those championships in the historic Rome Olympic Stadium. Mexico, of course, has its very own Olympic Stadium, dating from 1968. Eric Portillo, well, I'm sure people have talked about that with him. A bit too young to remember it, having been born in 2000. And of course, the man who revolutionised high jumping, won his gold medal there, Dick Fosbury, and just recently departed and sorely missed. So, Eric Portillo, first attempt, 225, and not a bad effort indeed from the Mexican.
Po něm půjde Tejaswin Shankar. Soutěži pokračuje kvarteto výškařů. Ještě Rivera a Wu.
See replays of it. Yeah. Had his torso and his backside over, just couldn't bring his legs through quick enough. Now, Tejaswin Shankar. 225. First attempt for the Indian. Looking very focused. Just clatters into it. Height wasn't there.
To se dělo i na předchozích 3 výškách. Chválili jsme jeho všestrannost, kdy má za sebou medaile i v 10 boji. Vypíchnout i výškařské stříbro z her Commonwealthu v Birminghamu 2022.
So, Rivera, flawless so far in this competition. Teddy Bear getting in on the act as well.
Edgar Rivera.
So Edgar Rivera. Rivera. This is good competition for the Mexican. Oh!
Tak a zapisujeme mu vlastně první křížek v průběhu soutěže, protože, jak vás Michal informoval, předchozí 4 výšky
just came down on the bar. Didn't have the height there.
2.22 dal i 2 Rivera na první pokusy a to je jeho první křížek v soutěži. A uvidíme, jak se s tím podaří.
So 3 failures so far from the 3 men jumping. Now it's the turn of Woo Sung-yok.
Před závodem se zranil a jenom dětem podepisoval fotografie,
Woo Sung-yok,
které pořadatelé pohotově zajistili.
World indoor champion, personal best of 2:36. He's had a cracking season so far. Woo cleared 2:33 in Hustapeche and then 2:32 in Banska Bystrica last week. Oh, what a surprise! Woo clips it off. Nobody has gone clear at this height then. So second attempts for everybody. I'm just wondering whether passing that height just relaxed just a little bit too much. He does have a habit of occasionally bringing the bar down and then bouncing back and then producing a fantastic clearance. Did that in Banska Bystrica with his first attempt at 2:24 last week, but now second attempts. Eric Portillo. So Portillo, this would equal his season's best of 2:25. Hasn't been over this height so many times in the past. Really came of age last year. He just chopped his stride there. 2 strides out, 3 strides out. As you can see there, yes, he's 3 strides out. He starts to chop his stride very slightly. And I think that made all the difference. So the third man, second man to attempt this height. Shashwin Shankar. Well, he's been over 2:25 on a regular basis over the seasons.
Mají Michale v současné době skvělou oštěpařskou sestavu, to nakonec vnímáme i v
bronze. That was his first major medal at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Last year, converted to the decathlon. No, just again didn't have the height there. Not a bad effort, but it just a little bit lackluster. Yeah, it was never quite there. So, third man to attempt this height for a second time, Edgar Rivera.
Evidentně ho tady vyhecovalo publikum v Nehvizdech.
So Rivera getting the crowd behind him. Really engaged in this competition. So say only a few hundred people able to fit into the Sportovní hala. Every seat sold. Oh, it wasn't a bad attempt at all for Rivera, and he knows it. That would have been a season's best for Rivera. Indeed, his clearance at 2:22 was a season's best for the Mexican. 33 years of age now, at his birthday last Tuesday. Now, Woo Sung-hyuk, not the best of attempts with his first go at 2:25. Doesn't look quite as confident. I don't know quite why. It's that traditional shoulder shake that we've seen of him. If you've been watching the European Athletics live streams from Hvezdy in Czech Republic 10 days ago, and last week in the Slovak Republic at Banská Bystrica. No! Well, that is a surprise. Well, he's been training in Nehvizdy for the last week. Came here after competing in Banská Bystrica. He knows what this surface is like. There's his coach, Kim Kwon-do. So all four men have to take third attempts at 2:25. I think we'd have been expecting, and I certainly called it, saying that I would have expected Woo to have been flying clear at this height. There you can see in the corner, Stefan Holm, with the grey hoodie on, tucked into the corner, sitting on something that looks like a box. The 2004 Olympic champion. Well, we're looking at Shankar, but first up should be Eric Portillo. There he is. Just taking his time tying up his laces. High jumpers like to tie their shoes very, very tight, because the torque on the shoes as they're going around the curve with the last 4 strides quite often is immense. I've seen high jump shoes ripped apart during the midst of competitions. So Eric Portillo of Mexico, third and final attempt. Tucked into the corner of the Sportovní hala in Hvezdy. Rhythmic clapping backing him. Oh, wasn't a bad attempt, but when you look at that replay, he took off too far away. He's got a lot of direct vertical lift, Portillo. Everybody congratulating him. Well, at this stage in the competition, he's lying in third place. Sorry, I should say in second place.
Jamal Wilson se dostal na 226 cm. Asi jsme si letošní rekordy meetingu vybrali v koulařském sektoru.
No, byl bych špatný otec, kdybych ti
So at the
nevěřil.
moment, this man's in third place.
By se mi ty 3 rekordy líbily víc než 2.
Having got over 2:22
Konečně si
with
také
his third
Shankar
attempt.
řekl potlesk.
Ribeiro flawless up to and including 2:22. Portillo needing 2 attempts and Woo passing. So Shankar. All hinges on this. Not a bad attempt for Shankar. Well,
Shankar schazuje na potřetí 225.
A je jisté, že vypadává ze hry o stupně vítězů, protože má z těch 4 borců, kteří na této výšce zůstali, nejhorší.
2:22 for his second attempt of the winter. So 2 men out, 2 men still to go at this height of 2:25. Edgar Ribera. Season's best of 2:22 when he went clear a short while ago. So Ribera geeing himself up. was close and he knows it. There was a lot of height there. Very determined. Once again takes a long way away. Just wondering if he'd have actually taken off 30 centimeters closer to the bar and the bed, whether he'd have had just enough height to go clear. So, Ribera in first place at the moment. He'll definitely be on the podium. So too will Eric Portillo. Now, can Woo Sang-yok go clear? You would have expected it, seeing the way he was jumping over the course of the last 10 days. But he's brought the bar down twice at what would otherwise be a fairly modest height for him. 2.25 meters. So, the world indoor champion. Finally, Woo goes clear. And he takes first place. He's clinched the win. He now knows he's got 1,500 euros to his name going into his bank balance. And the bar will go up to a meeting record of 2.28 meters. Well, he finally put it all together. He was the overwhelming favourite for it, and he did everything expected.
Faktem je, přátelé, že tady od nás z boku se zdálo, že ta povedená třetí jeho skokanská ukázka.
Smile creeps over the face of his coach, Kim Kyun-do. There you can see Woo's record. Didn't come in until 2.18, cleared, and then took 3 attempts to clear 2.25, but the only man to go over. So Edgar Rivera will pick up 1,000 euros in second place. Eric Portillo gets himself a cheque for 700 euros in third. We know who's going to be second and third. We also know who's going to be first, and it's the man who's having the bar put up now. Well, in theory, he can choose whatever height he wants to go up to. They were looking at 2.28, which will be a meeting record. I'm wondering what he's going to have it put up to. May choose to go up higher. He attempted 2.37 in Banska Bystrica last Tuesday. That was after going clear at 2.32 meters and clinching the win. Joint holder of the world lead at 2.33, and will certainly go to the World Indoor Championships as one of the favourites for a medal and perhaps even the gold when those championships come around in just under 2 weeks' time in Glasgow. So, officials very quick to raise the bar.
Klidně mohl od 14 začít pískat atletiku jako elef.
It is indeed 2.28 meters.
Neboj, my ti pomůžem, synku, neboj.
So this would be a meeting record for the Korean and can sign Thomas Carmoy's 2.27 from 2 years ago to history. Oh, now he looks revved up. He looks confident. It wasn't there at 2.25 so much. No. So first time failure at 2.28 for Woo Sang-yok. Hasn't been a best of competitions for him after those 2 great competitions in the last 10 days. Kim Kwon-do looking as though he's canvassing for signatures, but on some kind of petition. But he does look very clearly as though he's passing on some coaching advice to Woo Sang-yok.
Jich do soutěže nastoupilo 10. Na vině bylo zranění Francouze Nathana Ismara. Na 10. místě, a už se to nebude měnit, končí Melvin Holm, syn slavného výškaře Štefana Holma, který je tu dnes s námi. 9. místo bere
Looks like Stefan Holm is getting an introduction to the crowd. Crowd liking it. They know who he is.
7. místo, tam je Douwe Amels z
Home,
Nizozemí.
of course,
6. v soutěži končí
also
Antonios
several times
Merlos
world
z
indoor
Řecka.
champion.
Místo 5.
Never won a world title outdoors, but of course he did take the Olympic crown. That's enough for most people, I think.
Pak Eric Portillo, druhý Edgar Rivera, první je Korejec Wu, to je už neměné.
So once again, oh indeed, the bar was raised to 230. Now we didn't hear the infield announcer mentioning that, but we can see it on the results now. So it isn't 228, which would be a meeting record. It's a bit higher. Oh, interesting. He's got 2 pairs of the same shoes. Just swapping. Wonder why. I'd be very interested to know why he's swapped shoes on his takeoff foot.
80 skoků v soutěži.
One possibility is he's got slightly longer spikes, maybe a millimetre or more. And he just wants a little bit more grip. Or maybe, as I was saying, it's a question of the torque, and he might have just busted a seam on one of those shoes. I'm afraid I'm just going to have to speculate. It's not immediately clear. Oh well, maybe we'll find out later on in the meeting. However, Wu, as you can see there, those Velcro wraps on the top of his shoes to make sure they're snug and really tight. Second attempt at 2 meters 30, being watched by everybody else in the arena. The spotlight, such as it is, because it's very well lit in the Sportovní hala, is on Woo Sung-hyuk, Korean. Second attempt coming up at 2 meters 30. He's been over this height on many occasions. To be honest, I don't have the time to count up, but I do know that this should be a
one-man show.
Very regular clearance for him. Well, that familiar shoulder twitch. He sort of approaches it side on for the first stride or so. Starts with his one foot in front of his another and is slightly at an angle. No, and he's away. Second attempt, 230. No! No! Doesn't quite have the same lift, the same spring as he did in Banska Bystrica or Husta Peče. Not a bad attempt, but it wasn't there. Schenker giving him a low 5. Well, they know they've won the contest. I don't think they're too upset about what they're seeing. But Kim Kwon-do is a fairly downbeat sort of character a lot of the time. I remember seeing an interview with him after the Olympic Games when Wu finished just out of the medals, and he was saying, I don't think there's very much more I can teach Wu. I don't think he needs me as a coach. Well, you don't normally talk yourself out of a job, but he's still there, and he's still providing advice. Almost like a big brother figure, I think. Yeah, that's it. I think Kim Kwon-do thinks he should perhaps just last couple of strides turn over just a bit quicker, get the foot down a bit quicker and a bit more impact on takeoff. That's my interpretation of what they're saying anyway at a distance. So, third and final attempt coming up for Woo Sung-hyuk.
Narozeniny. Tereza Ďurďaková má 33 a byla tak skvěle umístěná na chodeckém klání na srpnovém mistrovství světa v Budapešti. No a
well, he's been over this height and better already twice this season.
Má dnes 630. Už neběhá, trénuje a Jestli je znáte nebo máte na ně kontakt, taky
Indeed, he's
můžete
jumped
stihnout
2:33 or better.
Jubileum života. No a
No
my
less
bychom
than
rádi
10
tleskali
occasions.
korejskému výškaři, který
So he's got a fondness for Nehvizdy. This is where he made his breakthrough indoors in 2022. So now, everybody's getting behind. Woo Sung-hyuk is the only man left in competition. 2 meters 30. The last man in action in the arena. Familiar little scream, just to get himself revved up. Sometimes a bit of face slapping as well. Third attempt, 2 meters 30. And he's over. And he's over, and that's a new meeting record for Woo Sung-hyuk. He took his time. The bar twitched. But Woo Sung-hyuk confirms his status as the winner in Nehvizdy. Congratulations from the meeting director, Thomas Wojciech. Well, he's had a really good set of competitions, meeting records in all 3 events tonight. Well, Sarah Mitten took a meeting record in the women's shot put, followed by Thomas Walsh in the men's shot put, and now Woo Sung-hyuk in the men's high jump. So what's Woo Sung-hyuk going to put the bar up to? I have a feeling he might crank it up to 2:37.
No a pak tam je jeden borec z východu světa od nás. 3 jsou na 230
We have to keep an eye on the results and an ear on the infield announcer.
Samostatnit na vedoucí pozici. Jde na 234.
Je to jako na úspěšném koncertu, kdy
well, the arena's going quiet.
V tomto případě tedy útok na ještě
you can see the Korean flag in the midst, almost equidistant from both ends of the sportovní hala.
Pozornosti tady v Nehvizdech při 7. ročníku Hvězdy v Nehvizdech. Ale ani se mu nedivím, protože...
A já myslím, že to je plným právem, je naprosto suverénní pohled na něj, jak se 2krát na 3. pokus přenese přes jednak. Máš pravdu, tam byla situace, že kdyby nedal 225, takže by měl zapsáno 218 a byl by mimo stupně vítězů. Takže on se tím pokusem na...
I wonder what they're discussing out there. Looks like they're talking about a lot more than his high jump technique. That's a bit more clearly something to do with the technique.
Hodně se natahujících rozočích na stojanech 234.
Now Mills congratulating
to je i rekord pro našeho vrchního rozočího. Ještě nikdy neměřil výšku 234 cm.
Competed a couple of times this year already. Thomas Wojciech just getting confirmation of the height. We don't know yet what he's putting the bar up to.
Přátelé, musíme ho nechat teď chviličku vydechnout, protože přeci jenom bojovat o to, aby byl tady...
Hasn't come through on the results yet.
Nehvizdech.
Obviously they know on the infield.
Kterém se říká, že ho výškaři moc nemusí, protože
as I said, if I was in his shoes, I would have probably put the bar up to 237. That would have been a Korean record. Jumped 236 in Hustapeche 2 years ago.
Vlastně 10 dnů před startem světového halového šampionátu ve skotském Glasgow. To je taky mimořádně zajímavá záležitost.
Dá se to být strašně dávno, když jsme měli laťku ve výšce 204, případně 209 cm. Tam bylo úspěšných pokusů celá řada, jenomže teď už v soutěži zbývá pouze jediný. Jeho Korejec Woo, který má vítězství, má rekord meetingu, ale chce ještě něco víc.
právě vůz s Američanem McEvenem, kde oba skočili hustopečí 2.33, teď 10. února. A Lysenko skočil v Moskvě 28. ledna také 233. A 4. místě děleném je náš Štefela z 230 ze Stromovky z 16. ledna.
So he's asking for silence across the arena. He sometimes jumps in competitions with music. Likes Korean K-pop music. We're asking for quiet in the sportovní hala. Once again, that now familiar routine just to get himself mentally prepared. So quiet descends on the sportovní hala. Now everybody starts chattering and the decibels rise just a little bit. Not a bad attempt.
Ráda k zemi, my to nevidíme rádi, ale podstatné je to, že to nebyl beznadějný pokus, třeba podskočená laťka nebo už při stoupání rukou schozená laťka. Rozhodně jsme teď svědky takové one-man show,
Kim Kwon-do
kdy
just analyzing that last jump.
Na sebe soustředuje pochopitelně pozornost celé haly, která teď ani nedutala.
It is 2:34. Okay. Well, it would be a world lead. Wu and the American, Shelby McEwen, hold lead jointly at the moment at 2.33 meters.
Ve výsledku ani z pohledu diváků vás tedy nelze úplně udržet tu koncentraci 100%, když už jsou takové lehké prostoje. Každopádně stříbro.
Wu and Shelby McEwen both went over 2.33 in Hustapeche in what was a magnificent competition. Not too far away from here.
A nově tady i rekord meetingu. To všechno jde za Sang-hyuk Wuem.
Who came out on top of another terrific competition, jumping 2.32 last week in Banska Bystrica.
A teď si užijte ten rámus, který si právě on teď po tom úplně tichém prvním pokusu vyžaduje.
Poche and Ole Dorishuk also jumped 2.30. Both indoor personal bests for the two Europeans. Only 5 men over 2.30 or better indoors this year. At least out of those eligible to go to the World Indoor Championships. Now, first attempt at 2.34 meters. Finally had it confirmed that this is the height he's attempting. So this is his second attempt. No, not quite as good as his first attempt, I think. Quite good height. Nevertheless confirms that he is the most consistent performer in the world indoors so far this season.
Good luck for Glasgow. Nový rekord meetingu 230 cm a autorem je tento korejský
I think he might be retiring at this stage. Yes, it does look as though he's retiring. So Woo Sung-hyuk takes the plaudits, takes the victory, takes the first prize check of €1,500 at this World Athletics Indoor Tour Silver meeting from Nehvizdy in Czech Republic. Congratulations from Thomas Wojciech, the meeting organizer. And Wojciech, well, Had a terrific evening. He's had 3 meeting records in 3 events. I don't think as a meeting organizer you can ask for more than that. There's confirmation of the results. Woo Sung-hyuk takes victory at 2 meters 32. Edgar Rivera second in 2:22, and his compatriot from Mexico, Eric Portillo, also 2:22, but has to settle for third on more failures throughout the competition. Well, the meeting organizer just corralling the high jumpers. And I think the men's shot putters as well. We haven't had the victory ceremony for the men's shot putters.
Jak již zaznělo, 2 ceremoniály, nejdříve tedy koulaři a potom výškaři. Let's get ready for ceremonies.
Edgar Rivera. That's his successful clearance at 2:22, which secured him second place. Second attempt at 2:22 saw Eric Portillo go clear. But this is 2 meters 30. That's the first place winning performance and a meeting record for Woo Sung-hyuk of Korea. Autographs, they're going to be treasured. I'm sure encouraging a lot of athletics fans to get involved. As I say, this part of Czech Republic, Czechia, has a fine athletics tradition, and the local athletic club, Sokol Nehvizdy, one of the strongest in Czech Republic, bringing through many, many fine athletes. Well, the seats in the middle of the arena are now emptied. Everybody's gathering at the far end of the sports hall. Murmuring and chattering in the sports hall. I can see at the far end that the men's high jumpers, struggling to see any men's shot putters, but the men's high jumpers are all getting together. Well, Woo speaks good English. He's doing interviews for Czech TV. There's everybody else milling around.
Vážení přátelé, klidně pojďte blíž sem k tomu sektoru ceremoniálu, protože
well, just a bit of a delay getting the athletes together for the prize ceremonies. As you can see, there's still plenty of crowds at the far end of the arena.
Ale 3 borce na super světové úrovni, to se hned tak nepovede je vidět pohromady. A já jsem moc rád, že Tom Walsh mi při tom kratičkém interview potvrdil a
Eric Portillo, always a popular figure with the youngsters.
Pokud to bude jenom trochu možné, pokud zdraví dovolí, sem do Nehvizd zase vrátí a to je pro nás moc dobrý přístup.
We did have junior high jump competitions, both for men and women, earlier in the day. Autograph hunting, very popular pastime in Central Europe. Congratulations from some of the junior men who competed earlier. And finally, well, the men have had time to get their kit on, and a little bit of music wafts over the sportovní hala.
Uděláte příjemnou atmosféru tomuto ceremoniálu. Vězte, že budeme vyhlašovat výsledky soutěže mužů na 7. ročníku mítingu stříbrného labelu Světové atletické federace Hvězdy v Nehvizdech. Ceny bude předávat světová rekordmanka z Helsinek, 8násobná halová mistryně Evropy, halová světová rekordmanka, olympijská medailistka a manažerka české atletiky paní Helena Fibingerová.
And once again, Helena Fibingerova will be the medal presenter. There we go. There's the men's shot putters.
Ředitel mítingu a 12válec, který tady rozhýbává atletiku s pomocí obrovského tandemu a miliony přeháním, ale tisíce a tisíce těch, co pomáhají. Tom Vojtek, bývalý mistr republiky v 10boji. Tome, a gratuluji k dnešnímu průběhu mítingu.
Once again, Tomáš Vojtek alongside Helena Fibingerova.
Takže, vážení přátelé, na 3. místě skončil 4násobný vítěz tohoto klání koulařů Tomáš Staněk.
Well, in third place, Tomáš Staněk, 3 times winner in Nehvizdy, and even though he threw further than his previous meeting record with 21.47 in the 4th round, has to settle for 3rd place in this very high quality competition. Staněk, winner in 2020 and then 2022 and 2023. Well, I'm sure he'll be back in future years. Next year will be the 8th edition of this World Athletics Tour Indoor Tour Silver Meeting. From Nigeria, Chukwuebuka Enekweche, an African indoor record of 21.63. That huge effort coming in the second round.
No a vítězem winner is v novém rekordu
But
meetingu.
the man in black, always the traditional colour of New Zealand, the silver fern, being big ain't easy. Well, he does make winning shot put competitions being easy. Tom Walsh, meeting record of 21.96 in the 3rd round, and absolutely dominated the competition. I have a feeling with these guys that might well not see the light of day tomorrow. I've got a feeling that will certainly be accompanying their dinner tonight. Tomáš Staněk, looking as though he's gone for a rosé rather than a red. So that concludes the prize ceremony for the men's shot put. Just the men's high jump still to come.
Victory ceremony, please. First 3 men for the high jump. For victory ceremony, high jump, first, second and third place. Já bych v této chvíli chtěl také moc poděkovat Jirkovi Jonovi, manažeru závodníků, který měl spoustu starostí s tím, jak dát dohromady při těch omluvách, zraněních a problémech kvalitní výkonnost všech účastníků, ale jak se ukázalo, a ty 3 rekordy meetingu to potvrzují, tak Jirka Jon a jeho píle a jeho kvalita se znovu potvrdila a Jirko, já před tebou skláním svou začínající šedivějící hlavu. Ty máš trošku šedivější, ale to proto, že si děláš pořád velké starosti, aby závodníci byli na pravém místě v pravý čas. Takže Jirko, díky za obrovskou konkurenci, kterou jste dokázali s celou tou partou, kteří ti pomáhali a ve spolupráci s Tomem Vojtkem a vůbec všemi, kteří tady v Nehvizdech atletice fandí a pomáhají, a nejen jí, ale obecně sportu. Co se vám v té hodně komplikované situaci podařilo dát dohromady?
Od jednoho ceremoniálu přejdeme úplně volně k tomu druhému. Stefan Holm, please.
And to present the prizes for the men's high jump, as you heard, Stefan Holm.
A hodně zajímavá soutěž.
Couldn't think of a better presenter.
I mimo stupně vítězů nakonec, ale zvítězil navíc rekord meetingu. Takže poprosíme všechny 3 výškaře, oba Mexičany tu máme, Korejec už se žene. Ceny.
Well, Holm still very much the best high jumper in this hall. Personal best of 2 meters 40. So there's the 3 men. Congratulations between the 2 of them. Between Portillo and Wu. Rivera looking a little bit pensive there in the middle, although he did get a season's best of 2:22. There's Stefan Holm taking a bow.
Takže zdravíme ho. Stefan Holm je olympijský vítěz z Aten, také medailista z mistrovství světa, takže jeho syn byl v soutěži, byť skončil v poli poražených. And now, first 3 men. 3rd place in high jump pen, Eric Portillo from Mexico.
So as you heard, Eric Portillo from Mexico. Second attempt at 2 meters 22 was successful, and that got him 3rd place. And a hug from somebody who I'm sure is Portillo's idol, Stefan Holm.
Sedla tady forma jako hrom. 2 byli na stupních vítězů a je z toho 3., respektive 2. místo.
Everyone.
Second place.
No, it's not champagne. 2 Mexicans on the podium, and it's Edgar Rivera.
Také 222, ale trošku horší.
5th last year with 222, but this year
that
suffices for 2nd place.
Z nich Mexičané tedy velmi úspěšní. I tady bude něco dobrého pití na oslavu. A nyní 1. místo, first place.
First place goes to Korea's Woo Sung-hyuk with a meeting record of 2 meters 30.
New meeting record, 2:30 for
Well,
Woo.
that's the mark everybody's going to have to beat when they come back in 12 months' time. A good high jump competition.
Vyhrál spoustu velkých světových akcí
a
jednou z nich je tady také meeting tady v
Third of
Nehvizdech.
3 very good competitions in the last 10 days. 2:33 in Hustapeche, 2:32 in Banska Bystrica in Slovak Republic, and now 2:30, at least temporarily, on home soil in Nehvizdech, where he's been for the last 6 days.
Hvězdy v Nehvizdech. Ještě jednou tady potlesk všem zúčastněným. Děkujeme za to, že jste přišli vám divákům a těšíme se také na další ročníky tohoto atletického
Wu takes the applause from the crowd and everyone surrounding him on the podium. As people leave the podium, people start analysing the competition and making their way back to the meeting hotel. I think it's time for me, Phil Minchell, to say goodnight. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage of the Hvezdy v Nehvizdech competition, which brought together high jumping and shot putting, this World Athletics Indoor Tour meeting. And if you like these specialist high jump and field event meetings, well, we've got pole vaulting coming up. We've got pole vaulting coming to you from the French city of Clermont-Ferrand on Thursday, and then another cracking competition in another 3 days' time coming up in Rouen on Saturday. Thank you and good night.